That's good. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate your attendance. It's on Monday. You know, for the longest time today, I thought today was a holiday, so that tells you where I'm coming from, okay? So I'm a little ahead of schedule.
Sunday.
So with that said, we're going to go ahead and start our neighborhood council meeting. Our recording is up. And so I'd like to call this meeting to order. Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council Board and Stakeholder meeting, Monday the 11th. And we are starting our meeting at 6:10. All right. Do we have any students here by any chance who's looking for any kind of credit? No? Okay, good. So with that, who would like to volunteer for flag salute? Okay, Cynthia, way to go. Thank you. Please stand.
Put your hand over your heart. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we get roll call, please?
I don't know, can we? Christina Barbera is excused. John Barbera.
Here.
Ben Brexford.
Present.
Christina Calandra.
Here.
Vic Christensen here. May Cordera Herrera.
Here.
Adrian Fernandez.
Here.
Cynthia Gagne.
Here.
Gwen Henry.
Present.
April Jones.
Here.
Melanie Lebrecq.
Here.
Kelly Miller.
Here.
Kay Nicholas.
Here.
Tom Norman is excused. Ray Regalado.
Here.
Angela Sumner.
Here.
Chris Valle.
Here.
That's 15. We have quorum.
All right. Thank you again for all being here. Okay, we're going to that closes agenda item number 1. We're going to start with agenda item number 2. That's general public comment on non-agenda items. You all have anyone who has a sign-in card? I have a couple here. Make sure that you have 2 minutes on the clock to be able to state your comments. So with that, first one I have is Lauren Vivian.
Good evening. It's Lorene Vivian for the record.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Once upon a time I sat up there. Anyway, long time ago. I recommend that for all you do, it's a lot of work. So I'm here tonight, quick comment and statement. I'm not here on either side of Fred Brown but it is related. And it has to do with a website that's been created called sanpedrocares.org. And I know that this body has the ability to include things in mass mailers. And this is purely statistical. It takes neither side. Its purpose is to state facts as we know them. And if they're incorrect, they will be corrected immediately so that the public, our constituents, our fellow citizens and residents can make up their mind based on statistical information and not hyperbole and emotional responses. So I ask, please, that you consider including sanpedrocares.org in your flyer. Your next message. Thank you.
Next is, okay, I know Ty, or it is Ty, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the Foreman? I can't say the last name.
My name?
Yeah, the last name?
Todd Porter.
Okay, you have a speaker card. You want to?
Yeah.
You have 2 minutes.
Hi, everybody. It is absolutely incredible to be before you and so close to our nation's largest port. I really came in an effort to connect on assessment analysis and review of engaging the port in a broad scope dialogue and to vie towards more inclusion of domestic production, productive capabilities, inclusion of youth, innovators, STEM fields, etc., and the creation of a special economic zone here. Councilmember McOsker recently approved a new Jedi zone near here, and that was an incredible effort. But I really want to see a little bit more engagement in support of space-specific economic development, trade partnerships, agreements, engagement with youth. And facilities creation, especially with Community Reinvestment Act funding, not to eye down any suspicion in terms of what could be gained in a myopic sort of discourse, but a mature one. A little background. I went to George Mason University for political science and international relations, and I really look forward to getting involved with you guys. God bless.
Thank you. Next up is Kay Nicholas as a stakeholder.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to make a public announcement. I am encouraging everyone to attend the...
Could you, the mic?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm encouraging everyone to attend the Planned Land Use Committee meeting that is happening on Wednesday, May 13th at 6 p.m. It will be on Zoom. In anticipation of that, it will be also a special meeting that will be happening on May 19th here at Pet Park at 6 p.m. as well. At that particular meeting, there will be a workshop looking to engage community members around planned land use issues and how events and projects are approaching the community. We welcome you to attend so that way we have a framework that we can all work together to provide solutions as a community. Thank you very much.
Time for that?
6 p.m.
Thank you. Last public comment card is from Gwen Henry as a stakeholder.
So we missed an opportunity for speaking on AstroTurf being installed in West Harbor. It really is incompatible with the coastal communities. We do have AstroTurf in certain areas. There's some in Wilmington. In fact, Tim McOsker was sworn in on a field that not only had AstroTurf, but lots of little bits of tire, which is highly incompatible with the coastal areas. I hope that we can continue to try to do better and speak out on things like this. I don't know if it's still too late. It probably is. But in regards to that, trees are a crisis. We are losing them at a tremendous rate across the city. CD15, of course, is one of the least tree canopied council districts. In fact, it is the number one council district with the least tree canopy. And so I hope we can urge and work with projects and get more trees. The second thing, of course, we're going to be speaking about Fred Brown, but I'm just hoping that everyone, pro, con, whatever, that you write letters as individuals concerning your thoughts as well. This is an important decision in our community. So your voices are very important. And please, continue to share with neighbors and inform on all the things we do.
Thank you. All right, I have no other public comment cards, so we're going to close out agenda item number 2, move on to agenda item number 3. That's presentation, discussion, and or possible action regarding targets conditional use permit request for the sale and full line of alcoholic beverages. Do we have a representative from? Oh, okay, great, thank you. Please state your name and when you get up there? And the capacity in which you played for.
Good evening. My name is Beth Abalafia. I am representing Target. I do the alcohol licensing for Target stores in California. And, excuse me, I flew down from the Bay Area and I'm still a little... This Target store in San Pedro has been selling beer and wine as part of its grocery offering since 2008. And what we are doing is applying for an upgraded alcohol beverage license that would allow the sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits in closed bottles as part of Target's grocery selection. At the time we got the beer and wine license back in 2008. Target did not have a significant grocery section. Somewhere around 2011, 2012, Target's model changed to include a much more significant grocery section. And with that change, we have also been revisiting stores that are only selling beer and wine and upgrading to beer, wine, and distilled spirits. And at this point, probably 95% of the stores in California do sell the full line of alcoholic beverages. And so we would like to be able to do that at this San Pedro store as well. We have also applied for an ancillary instructional tasting license. It's referred to as a Type 86 license. It's not a standalone alcohol license. It can only be issued in conjunction with an off-sale license, like for beer and wine or beer, wine, and spirits. And what it does is allow the licensee to have representatives of a winemaker or an importer come in and do occasional tastings for customers in the store. And so Target has not rolled out that tasting program in a big way yet, although there are about 20 stores that have the Type 86 tasting licenses and probably another 20 or so that are in the process of obtaining that license type. So I think probably later this year, you'll start seeing that more in the Target stores, and we'd like to be able to have that option in this store as well. The tasting area, which was marked on the floor plan that was submitted with our planning application, shows where the tasting area would be near the grocery section, in the grocery section near the alcohol display. Be a very small area, probably not more than 40 or 50 square feet, and the area would be cordoned off during the time the tasting was taking place. No minors would be allowed into that tasting area, and no one would be able to leave the tasting area with any open containers. But it would give customers the ability to sort of taste a product and interact with the winemaker and talk to the winemaker about the product. And so we have applied for that. As I say, it's an ancillary license to the main off-sale license that we've applied for. That is a summary, I think, of what Target is wanting to do for this store, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from around the table? I have a question. Okay, the hands are popping up. Excuse me. And I have allergies, and it's making me cough, so excuse me.
Okay, well, we're in the same boat.
So, with that said, the tastings, could you describe a little bit more of what those things look like? I'm trying to picture it at the Target and how that would look, and at what point in the day that would happen. Are you extending your hours more to accommodate liquor sales or whatever? Could you talk a little bit more about that?
No, the store hours would remain the same, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's anticipated that the tastings, they would not be on a regular basis. They would be occasional, most likely on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., no more than 3 hours in duration for any given tasting. And while that tasting is taking place, the tasting area would be cordoned off, whether it's through ropes and stanchions or moving some shelving around. But that area would be temporarily cordoned off while that was taking place. And then once the tasting was completed, that whatever was used to cordon off the area would be dismantled. So it wouldn't be a permanent dedicated area.
Okay. I saw some hands. Adrian, I saw yours. And, okay. We got anyone else?
Oh, maybe depending on what Adrian says.
Okay. Adrian, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Just a couple questions on the security aspect. I'm glad you said there's going to be cordoned off, but is there going to be a target staff or a security in front of the ropes, making sure nobody just walks in there accidentally, or are they going to be checking IDs before entering into the space? And particularly looking in Target currently, the alcohol section is 2 rows, and it's kind of a small, it's already small. So, I wouldn't really know where to put a testing booth, anywhere else there. So, those are my 2 things.
Yeah. So it would be along the end of one of those aisles, most likely. And it would be a representative of the winemaker or the importer, whoever's product is being tasted. And there would only be one product at any given tasting. And that representative would be responsible for making sure that ID is checked before anyone comes into that area, that no minors are coming into that area. There will be signage. There will also be Target personnel on site and monitoring the activities. But both Target and the alcohol supplier whose representative is there are responsible for making sure that the requirements are met with respect to monitoring the event.
Responsible in that somebody will be at the entrance of the testing area checking IDs?
Yes, there will be somebody in that area. The area is not going to be very big. The idea is it's only going to there's only going to be 1 or 2 or maybe 3 people in that area at any given time, because the idea is they want customers to be able to interact with the individual who is there representing the product. So it will be a very small area. And yes, there will be someone there at all times.
Good, thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is the plan to have tasting just wine, or will they also be offering tasting of spirits?
It will be, the majority will be wine. There might be an occasional beer or spirits tasting. For example, if there was a release of some seasonal beer or something like that. But for the most part, it would be wine.
Okay. I think the general concern, my guess would be that people would be doing shots at Target.
Well, the number of tastes and the size of the taste is all very strictly regulated by ABC rules.
Okay.
So it can't be a free-for-all.
Okay. And then my second question, you sort of answered as far as controlling who has access to the space. And if one person staffing their wine booth is sufficient to check ID and serve, but it sounds like it would be limited to 1 to 3 people there at a time, so
Yes.
it could be managed by. I would be concerned about if there's enough staff to monitor and serve.
Yes, it would be very small. I mean, about 40 square feet. I mean, so The idea is not for it to be a big space. It will be a very small space, so easily monitored by the person who is in there during the entire event.
Okay. I don't even know if there is
time.
40 square feet on that end of those
Well,
aisles.
yeah, and it may be less than that, but the idea is to have no more than 2 or 3 at the most in that space. And you're right, it's going to be some section of the aisle at the end of an alcohol section. So there is not a lot of space there to be doing it.
Thank you.
Chris? Thanks. I guess my prime and really only concern, given that alcohol is pretty plentiful and available everywhere else in the neighborhood, and all over San Pedro, is this particular target's history as a neighbor with its surrounding neighborhood and Northwest. And I think that some people, possibly mine, only point of contention would be that this would be another concession for the store's commercial viability and success. And I personally don't think that there's necessarily a risk of expanding this in a sense that doesn't exist in any other place that sells or serves alcohol. It would be that the track record of this particular target with respect to its neighbors has been less than satisfactory for some people. And so I think that what some people in the neighborhood and some people on the board, including myself, would like to know is that the management and the administration of the store and the property and the grounds and everything be stepped up and brought, this target becomes a more responsive and, for instance, you're here now because the store and the corporation wants the ABC license to go through. We've not had that kind of timely response and motivated engagement when we've had more particular complaints about the safety and security of the parking lot, the cleanliness thereof, and other things. And to close, I would point out that as an example of how some of us are a little skeptical about how thorough and professional some of the decision-making or administration of the store has been, the posting of the notices and the management of that was odd, to put it mildly, that the notice wasn't posted in the proper location, that it wasn't done within the proper time frame, and it seems like such a simple elemental kind of aspect of the whole process that we would like to have some sort of explanation as to why that was such an odd deviation when, I didn't realize that I knew exactly where an ABC application would be posted, but I just, once it had been discussed, realized, every other time I've ever seen one in my entire life, it's been on the front door or window of the address of the establishment, not elsewhere. As you walk into the place, so that you immediately see it at eye level and you associate it this location is applying for whatever it is they're applying for, and you didn't really have any other questions to ask. That is all right there. So I guess we were wondering why that didn't happen this time, and when it's such a basic step in every other business's application process.
I'm not sure if you're referring to the notice for the conditional use permit hearing or the ABC license notice.
Conditional.
Notice of hearing.
The notice of hearing for the conditional use permit.
I believe so, yes.
I cannot speak to the particulars of that. I can tell you that Target staff at the store did not do that posting and mailing. We used, as I do, with all of the Target stores that we apply for in LA, a city-approved mailing vendor who does the mailing of the hearing notices and the posting of the hearing notice. So I would have to look into how they handled it. I know that the the mailing service was in contact with the planner who is working on this application and providing her with verification that the mailing and the posting had been completed correctly. And she seemed to, it seemed to have been done correctly because she acknowledged that, or at least didn't state any concerns about the information that was provided by the mailing service and the posting service. So I would have to look into that. I can't speak to the particulars.
Okay, and so the long and short of it, at least for me personally, is that it's my understanding there's people in the surrounding neighborhood would simply like this target to be a better neighbor and to be a little bit more, or now a lot more responsive, and to put, like, for instance, to send you here, we would only need a fraction of that time, energy, in response to other issues to make us more confident about kind of granting additional, scope to your offerings. Thank you.
Go ahead.
And then because it was concerns, I think, of other people it was raised back in 2008 with this application of beer and wine, there were some conditions with that application and approval. To speak to it a little more thoroughly, there's a water table issue, and so they're supposed to be cleaning the algae and stuff out of the parking lot so that there's not a lot of contamination there. And then because there's been security issues, that sort of thing, I think that Northwest San Pedro is just hoping for Target as a neighbor to better follow those conditions that were put forth with the first hearing for the beer and wine.
I'd be happy to look into those and address them with the appropriate person at Target. I obviously can't speak to the specifics of those site issues, but I'd be happy to look into that. If you want to send me an email, perhaps, with the specifics,
Perfect.
I can take that to Target. And
Okay.
I have a simple question. Around the ABC permit in terms of any adjustments to an insurance policy at this particular location.
Can you speak up a little bit on that?
Sure. In regards to the ABC permit, will there be any adjustments to the insurance policy?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure what insurance policy you're referring to, but
Thank you.
Anyone else from around the table? Gwen?
So currently the Target sells beer and wine. This is an expansion to hard spirits and other alcohol. Is the alcohol section going to be expanded? Is the footprint going to be the same? Are there going to be lockers for the hard spirits? Is the element going to look different in that? And also, as far as security of the alcohol, because we do have theft. And also, do you have a list of the targets which currently have the hard spirits in them and the wine taste and the tastings? If you could give a list of which sites have them and which ones are being proposed for what neighborhoods and what locations. Because we would like to see the choices in which of these stores are going. Is this going to be a national thing where all Targets will have hard spirits? Or is this designated for only certain neighborhoods?
no. With respect to the distilled spirits, I can't give you a list of those stores. I can tell you that about 95% of all the stores in California, Target stores in California, do sell beer, wine, and distilled spirits.
And how is it being presented? Is it in secure locations, under lockers? Has the footprint been expanded?
No, the footprint is shown on the floor plan that was submitted, which I believe you would have received a copy of. And typically, there is about half of one side of an aisle that is used for distilled spirits display. They are not locked, and the footprint may be slightly expanded, but not much.
Is that specified in the, as far as the square footage, and is that specified in the application?
Yes.
And the length of time for the presentations and the tastings, is that set in stone as far as the length of those? How long they're going to be? Because you say about. So
Yes.
I'm wondering if there's more specifics, very specific limits to those tastings and samplings.
No, there's
No.
not.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Oh, Melanie, I'm sorry.
So you realize that this target is one of the highest theft targets in the Target Corporation in California, right?
I accept
our
that's your
LAPD is there constantly for theft. And so most of like Bonds and Ralph's and all of the stores have gone to locking their alcohol cabinets now because of theft. Target already has a problem with theft severely at their store here at this location. So adding liquor there, it's going to have to be under lock and key. Otherwise, it's going to walk fast out that store. They're going to, and the security people that they have there, they're young little kids. They have a lot of problems even operating inside the store versus even addressing problems that are outside in the parking lot. It's a real problem that they're going to have to address.
Oh, okay. I'm not aware of any particular problems with beer and wine at this store, but I think that Target is very aware of the responsibilities that come with selling alcoholic beverages. So if there are specific incidents you'd like me to look into, I'd be happy to do that.
What we need to do is probably examine a little bit closer the extent of, given what you presented today, we'll have to look at it. And if we decide we need more questions answered, we'd like to present them to you and hopefully get a timely response from you and or the Target representatives. Lori, I see your hand and I will call you, but I do want to get clarity because it might be my ears or whatever. I think I heard you say earlier that you said 5% of Target stores sell a full line of alcohol.
No.
95. Okay. Okay. So the we're one of the 5% that does not sell that full line, right? Here,
At this point, that's correct, yes.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to get that clear. Then I just heard it wrong. Sorry about that. Lori, I saw your hand up. And we'll start taking questions from the audience if
So I have no opinions on alcohol whatsoever. No, I do. So my daughter a few years ago started working in what she called a bottle shop, which I had never heard of. But she told me that they gave tastings there, and it's like a liquor store where they have tastings. So I'm just curious if how many of those type of businesses are in San Pedro already. And as far as adding liquor to Target, if we're going to target on not having it, I think you should go after every other business that's selling liquor in San Pedro. I know that I would like to hear I'd like to see the report that says that this Target has the highest crime rate of any Target in California. I'd like to see that data. But do you know if there's any other what they call bottle shops or places where they give a small tasting at locations in San Pedro right now?
Sorry. Yeah. I assume from what you're describing, it's probably some type of liquor store that does tastings, and the only configuration of licenses that I can think of that would match that description would be the licenses that we're applying for here. An off-sale license, the type 21 that Target is applying for, that allows beer, wine, and spirits in closed bottles. That's what a liquor store would have. And with that, they could also apply for the ancillary tasting license.
Any other questions from the audience? I see no hands. We'll close out the session with one final question from Adrian, and then we'll move on.
Thank you. Listening to Angela and Lori, something popped up in my head. You touched it very briefly on the consumption of it. Are people who go in limited to the amount of, I don't know, if shots or, those little like medicine cups, or how would that work? Because why I'd be concerned is, somebody's going in a grocery store, they stop and they have, like, let's say 3 cups of it, and they go in and drive, they get pulled over, and there you go, there's a DUI right there, right, because of a strong liquor. Or there's somebody who's, experiencing homelessness, goes in and says, well, I know there's free alcohol right here, I'm going to go over there and take 3 of them or whatever the limit is. So is there a limit or on how many one can consume? If so, what is in the conditional use permit that does that?
Yeah, it's actually in the ABC regulations for this license type. The size of a taste of wine cannot be more than 1 ounce.
1 ounce, but then how many can one take?
3 in a day.
3 in a day, okay.
So 3 at the same time.
And that's for all the tastings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hard liquor including.
Pardon me?
Hard liquor as well.
Hard liquor is 1/4 of an ounce.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we have no other questions. We truly appreciate you being here. Thank you for being able to help us understand a little bit more.
Of course.
I think the issue of the signage about it, I think if you would be so kind as to maybe get back to us on that one. I think I heard there was where are these postings at?
I can look into that, yes.
And the other part is, and maybe I'm drawing something more than it, but Target being one of our community members, hopefully there might be a better response to some of our concerns about other aspects of the store. For instance, the issue of the water table bubbling up and cleanliness and things like that. So I think, maybe we can have more back and forth conversation with Target and, in the future so that we can, we're not venting all at one shot like we might have started today, but definitely, community has had concerns about other aspects of Target as a community member. So appreciate your being here, and thank you so much for your time.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item number 3 has been taken care of, and we're going to move on to agenda item number 4, a homelessness report. Lori?
Good evening, Board. A little bit of a shorter report this month. So it's sort of an interesting segue after what we just discussed, talking about homelessness and the use of alcohol and drugs. So, the rhetorical question, how many people experiencing homelessness were not using alcohol or addicted to any kind of drugs prior to becoming homeless or unhoused? And quite often, people will make statements to me, they're all drug addicts, that's why they're out and they're experiencing homelessness. And so I'm providing some statistics here that show there's a good percentage of people who, for a lot of reasons, became unhoused, economic, foster care, domestic violence, all those things that had nothing to do with getting loaded. But if you're living out on the streets, it becomes a survival mode, and you're prey to the gangs that will come and try to, get you high and get you hooked on drugs. So I think it's important to look at that. While drug use is highly prevalent among the unhoused, it's often misunderstood as the cause of homelessness. That's just not an accurate statement. And illicit drug use is a significant challenge for those experiencing homelessness. Concurrently, substance use can interfere with a person's economic and social functioning, make it challenging to find stable housing. So you can read through what I have here. I provided some links, so if you want to dig down deeper into some of the statistics, go for it. Bottom line, improving access to treatments tailored to the needs of people experiencing homelessness could improve overall outcomes. So that there's a definite correlation there. And there's many people in some of these studies that said they wanted help to get off drugs and resources were not made available to them. So I think it's important that we have these discussions and we dispel some of the myths of these things. And we really need to make it available to anybody who wants to get off of drugs or alcohol. You all know that I am a recovering addict and very grateful that I was able to go into an inpatient program, and it turned my life around, and that's why I do the work that I do, because, you never know who is struggling out there and what they're doing to try and cope with things. No judgment. Just let's help people. Let's not judge people. Enough said on that. I would like to thank April Jones, who attended the Spa 8 Harbor Gateway Connect Day. I don't believe there were any other neighborhood council people there that day. I understand many of you work during the day, but it was pretty successful. And she was there taking photographs and interviewing people. A lot of people got started on the path of resources and got transportation to get to the DMV, the Social Security office, to get the documents that they need. And that's a big problem out there, not having the documents and birth certificate to even start the path to homelessness. It's not like, sign me up. There's a lot that has to be done. Some of the forms are just quite cumbersome. So I'm hoping we can look at doing more events like that and collaborating in the community. Like I always tell you guys, it's just helping one person at a time. And my friend Dave helped some people, and several people got jobs that they started on the very next week. That's just success story, right? So I'm very excited about that. I'm mentioning again helping with food insecurity. I know I've harped on it before, but Toberman has one of the most extensive food pantries in our community. And a friend of mine heard me talking about it, and she said, "How can I help?" And she handed me a $150 market gift card and said, "Could you take that to them?" Because she says, "I don't know what they want. They could choose what they want." So there's all kinds of ways. You don't necessarily have to do that, but you can volunteer. You can talk to people there. Adrian happens to work there, so you can reach out to Adrian, or I have information there to learn how you can participate in a food drive there. I want to bring to your attention, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health goes right along with the homelessness and the alcoholism and the drug addiction. And I'm a firm believer that every one of us has some level of mental health issues. Whether it's depression or anxiety, whatever. It's tough times right now. And so, let's choose to be a little kinder. And before we make judgment, think about where somebody might have been and what's causing them. And I'm guilty of the road rage. Why was that guy cutting me off? And I'm like, so now I start to think he's rushing to the hospital to see somebody, or, why do we judge? Why do we do that? My last page goes over a couple of LA County motions. I've been looking into some of the permanent supportive housing and shelters and have learned that some of them have not had really great case management, or they've had problems there with people bringing in weapons or drugs, and there's people there that are trying to stay sober. So I was pleased to see that Janice Hahn and Holly Mitchell put a motion through creating action plans to address community concerns regarding housing facilities serving people experiencing homelessness. So they're asking for a report for accountability, okay, because there's no point us taking all our tax money and getting people off the street into some type of interim or permanent supportive housing if they're not going to retain it, because nobody's managing them. And it's hard because the budget is slim. But just moving people off the street and then counting them and then they're back out on the street is no good. A lot of times chronic homelessness, these people need case management for many, many years. So I'm interested to see that a report. And along with that, another motion put through is a more accountable homelessness governance structure for LA County. So I'm following that along with the Measure A. They're constantly looking at, you know, the budget. And we were talking earlier, Kelly mentioned the safe parking, which right now is slated to be cut, but now some people are really speaking up on that and saying we can't lose that. And if it's managed better, it won't cost as much. To me, some of these programs have not been managed that well. And so if we could look at some of those and have better oversight on the spending. So that's about it for my report this month.
Thank you, Lori. Any questions? Kelly?
Looking at your improving access to treatment tailored needs, your highlighted area there, do you find that Circle is making a difference with that?
I wish Circle could actually provide us data. I think they are. I'm hearing a lot of good things. When I've called, they've been able to go out there. I think when Drew gets up here, she might be able to speak to that a little bit more. She's more in touch with Circle. But we're very fortunate because that program is not available everywhere, and that's the only program that's 24/7. Okay, so, and they've talked about expanding it. I don't know how they're going to do that with the budget. But to my knowledge, Kelly, I think that is an effective program. But keep in mind, if somebody has some mental health issues, now we don't have enough facilities to take them to, and we don't have enough people in the mental health field to work them. So we have to look at all aspects of it, getting more facilities that can handle drug addiction and related mental health, and more people working in that field. If you know anybody looking at for a new career, or the high school students, please encourage them to look at that.
Thank you.
Any other hands around the table? I see none. Any questions from the audience? I see none. Laurie, thank you very much for your very good report. It's always exemplary every single month.
It's so fun, Ray.
And you know what? I have conversations with Lori during the course of the month that we're not meeting, and I know this is on top of her mind because we talk a lot about this all the time. This is something that she's very serious about, so thank you for that.
Can I announce my new appointment?
Absolutely.
Tomorrow I'm on the agenda for the County Board of Supervisors to be appointed to the Commission on Alcohol and Other Drugs. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that all that I've learned and that I can have a voice and I can tie everything together. And I've let them know that I'm really interested in the homelessness and mental health tying into whatever this commission does. So more to be revealed. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Do you know what time you're on the agenda?
I'm on the consent calendar under appointees. I wasn't planning to drive down there, although Yolanda and Ray were trying to convince me to.
Well, if you're at home, like some people during the day,
I'm gonna listen.
it'll be on YouTube. So look up the Board of Supervisors and you can watch it.
Oh, well, they published the link, so yeah. Well, look, I already took a picture of my name on the agenda. Okay. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Okay, so that concludes our homelessness liaison report. And we're going to move on to our elected governmental and public safety representatives. I'm going to kind of just go as I see, and let's start from Congresswoman Barragan's office. And I'm so glad to see you here, Sean. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ray. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Sean Kearns, and I am the Senior Field Representative and Grants Coordinator with the Office of Congresswoman Nanette Barragan. I am also a resident of Northwest San Pedro, so thank you all for your service on the Neighborhood Council and what you do to uplift our concerns and interests. Quick question, who represents Mirrorless Canyon Estates? MCE?
Is it?
It's just a couple thousand residents up there, you know, no small community.
That would be me then.
All right, thank you, Chris.
And we're, we already have a good working relationship.
Excellent, excellent. So, folks, just want to share a handful of updates going on at the federal level, and then we'll open up to questions. The first is with concern to DHS funding. The 70-day shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security has finally ended. During this time, FEMA, Coast Guard, civilian employees, cybersecurity personnel, and others went without any pay. Additionally, TSA, active duty Coast Guard members, and others received a delayed partial payment. That finally ended because 2 weeks ago, we finally got Republicans to cave in and join Democrats in funding all of DHS except for ICE and Border Patrol. We still need to rein in on those two agencies until they stop killing civilians, attacking the public, and executing extrajudicial orders. And so while they did not receive funding in the appropriations process yet, remember, it was last summer that Republicans essentially took away portions of Medicare and Medicaid, and SNAP in order to give an unprecedented funding source over to ICE and Border Patrol, which they are still using. So please know that this isn't some agency without funding. You're wondering why are they still tackling people at the Home Depot and Paramount? It's because they are still being paid, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Republicans have now, a few weeks ago, kicked off their next, what we refer to as the reconciliation process. This is the process in which Congress will forego and bypass the 60-vote threshold in the Senate. Democrats have used this process before, namely to pass the American Rescue Plan, which expanded access to vaccinations during COVID, or to pass the Inflation Reduction Act, which lowered, set a cap for insulin prices, amongst other things. But Republicans are using it to fund ICE and Border Patrol with another $70 billion, so that whether they come back to Terminal Island or do elsewhere to continue to harm our communities. Ridiculously, it also, in the current language, includes $1 billion for Trump's ballroom. I can't think of any way that that's accountable funding. For those who have been keeping track, just within a couple days last week, the price tag for that ballroom went from an estimated $200 million to $400 million to $1 billion. Must be a pretty massive ballroom. Probably not as cool as Peck Park, though. Other things going on the Hill. Big one was the Farm Bill, and you may say we're not a rural district. What's a Farm Bill to us? And the main things on our side are going to be food assistance programs like SNAP, WIC, as we know out here, CalFresh, and also funding for a lot of our community-based food systems, such as community gardens, as well as food banks, food pantries. The House voted 2 weeks ago on the next Farm Bill. The Congresswoman voted no, and really for one reason, it did not restore the funding to the SNAP cuts that occurred last summer. And so we don't see a reason to be supporting big ag until our local neighbors can make sure that they're fed. There's also been quite a debate over FISA. This is comprehensive legislation that's meant to provide and enhance our national security. And particularly the debate has been over one element of FISA, that's Section 702, and that's the law that allows intelligence agencies at the federal level to spy on people overseas. And again, it's supposed to be solely for national security. There is, however, the concern that during that process, messages, correspondences from Americans do get picked up and taken. And so what the Congresswoman and what most House Democrats are opposing is to reauthorize Section 702 as it is, which could allow Trump administration at any point to start spying on people just because they communicate with family in Mexico, Salvador, elsewhere. And instead, we need to include a warrant requirement so that there's actual justification for why intended spying is happening on those American people during their correspondence overseas. 2 weeks ago, FISA did get extended by 45 days. So the program does continue. And again, the Congresswoman doesn't oppose all of it. It's just the need to get a warrant requirement for that one section. Elsewhere on Capitol Hill, the Supreme Court made a pretty devastating decision that's going to impact the Voting Rights Act. Essentially, they decided to invalidate Louisiana's congressional maps that have been approved in 2024. These congressional maps established a second black majority seat within the state. Important to remember that this is a state that is 1/3 black, and there are 6 seats. So two minority majority seats would only be proportional. And what's really unfortunate, though, about this is that their explanation was that you can no longer analyze racial data when drawing up congressional maps. That because Louisiana purposefully did that to increase representation of minority community members, that was the fault to it. Moving elsewhere, shift over to the Pentagon. Trump's war in Iran continues. It's exceeded the 6-week arbitrary time frame he threw out. There's been well over $25 billion spent on the war. $25 billion is the Pentagon's number that they've put out there. Estimates believe it could be as much as double that number. Alienated us from allies, service members, and civilians in Iran, other parts of the region have died in this destructive, reckless battle, and no end in sight, unfortunately. There will be another vote probably Wednesday or Thursday on a war powers resolution that would try to rein in and require the congressional authorization to move forward on expanding this war. Those have failed thus far, largely on partisan lines. Let's see here. The surface transportation reauthorization is also in the works, though unfortunately delayed. For those who aren't familiar, surface transportation reauthorization is often known just as the highway bill. Back in 2021, we were able to pass the really historically funded Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which provided funding for highways, bridges, water systems, public transit, clean tech, and other infrastructure issues. The current funding is set to expire this September. And so, unfortunately, as I said, the process did fall behind schedule. They were supposed to do bill markup last month by the end of April. And bill markup is essentially the time where you get the first indication of this Department of Transportation funding will receive X amount of funding. And they did not meet that late April deadline. The House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee is going to look to push that to completion this month. I would say to expect less investment in public transit, pedestrian infrastructure, and certainly less in zero emissions and clean transportation. Those have not been things that the administration has supported, and instead has actually taken away funding that was already obligated to our communities to achieve those goals. I think that really ties in to Trump's attacks on offshore wind, and the reason why I want to bring up this one, you may be aware that in the last couple of months, Trump has paid $2 billion in federal funds to purchase leases from offshore wind companies and essentially cancel their contract with the goal of giving it to oil and gas companies instead. He's also canceled almost $700 million from a dozen different offshore wind projects across the country. And so in this payment of our taxpayer dollars, the cancellation of other funds, two key projects off the California coast, one located in the Morro Bay area and the other one off of the northern coast, no longer are moving forward in their current state. And here's, in addition to just the need for us to have a reliable, renewable source of clean energy as we transition our grids, the other real big issue with this one is the pure wind proposal over at Port of Long Beach is going to have trouble moving forward because while they have some state investment and need a lot more in order to develop that terminal where they're going to assemble the wind turbines that go out to offshore locations, Long Beach is no longer the hot location to do it because there's no future of it at the moment off the California coast. And so something that has been a whole delegation of people pushing back on, whether it's Democrats that are for clean energy or for the job growth, it's really something that all of them have been outspoken on. Last update I wanted to share was with regard to community project funding requests. This is the one opportunity per year where a member of Congress can submit a limited number of requests for projects within their district. Depending on the year, it's ranged from 10 to as many as up to 20 projects per year. Some examples of funding we've been able to secure in the past has been for the Toberman Neighborhood Center to implement violence prevention initiatives in additional parks and schools within San Pedro. We've been able to get funding for Rainbow Services to expand their shelter that serves survivors of domestic violence. Funding to build student research labs at the Alta-C campus down on the coast here. And within this last cycle, we were able to get $14 million for 15 projects across the district, and that includes upgrades to the Wilmington Athletic Complex, as well as LA Harbor College's Center for Community Engagement. The new requests we've put in for this cycle include $4 million to upgrade the ball fields at DFSP San Pedro over there on North Gaffey. These are both the fields that are used by the San Pedro Girls Softball Association, as well as the San Pedro Athletic Complex, closer to 5 Points. There's also a request for $1.1 million to establish an outdoor learning space at Park Western Early Education Center, just down the street from us here. And another request of $750,000 to remodel and upgrade the computer lab over at Rancho San Pedro. Let's transition over to the questions. Starting with the council.
Okay. Go in.
Well, it's kind of disappointing to hear that transportation funding and infrastructure is cut. We have an item on here about the bridge and the impending closing, and we were very interested in repaving all of the alternate routes, especially because we are really stuck here. And I don't know if that's on Nanette's radar, but I'm hoping that with the transition, with all of that, with California Department of Transportation's work, that extra funding can be gotten because, the city, I don't know if the city has it, I don't know, the city streets versus Caltrans streets. I don't know if there's anything else that can help us to withstand the next couple of years and make sure that the trucks don't destroy the roads and that all of us can get through.
Yeah, no, great question, Glenn. So there is a federal tie to the Vincent Thomas Bridge project. Essentially, a large portion of the 2021 infrastructure law funding went through the formula process where California as a state was earmarked several $billion for a list of eligible projects, and the Vincent Thomas Bridge redecking was included on there. So essentially, once it's completed, the state government will be eligible for a federal refund, if you will, that's already been earmarked for them. But when it comes to the repaving of the detour routes, my understanding is, and largely thanks to the advocacy of our council member, Caltrans has agreed to repave the detour routes both before and after the full bridge closure.
That's something.
Thank you for that.
That's not nothing.
Any other questions? Anything else?
That's so much.
Well, I do have another one. I mean,
Yeah, we're going to have to move on. Anyone? Any hands? No.
When I'll be over there. You can.
And from the audience, any questions? I see no hands. Sean, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for the time.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your
Not the
service to my
greatest news,
neighborhood.
but thank you.
Okay, we'll take our representative from the state of California, Herb Wesson.
Good evening. Was that loud? Okay. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. President, board members. My name is Herb Weston III. I'm with the California Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber. It's myself and my esteemed colleague, Elva Gomez. We work in the Executive Outreach and Education Department with the Secretary. We do not have an agenda item or nothing promising. We just wanted to come introduce ourselves and say hello. Some of you know what the Secretary of State's office does. We have 7 divisions, and over those divisions, the 2 largest are the business and the elections division. So we do have an election coming up June 2nd, our statewide primary, and just use us as a resource. The president, some of the members have my information. Go to our website, sos.ca.gov. We work with the 58 counties. So your county is LA County, which is at lavote.net. Feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. I have some information on key dates that you guys may want to be aware of. And also, we have a few kind of cool things which I like. We have Where's My Ballot? You can track your ballot for those of you, and I do it. And it's 3 ways that you can receive your ballot: via text. You can get information via text. You can get information via email or a voice recorded message. So it's Where's My Ballot? You can find all that information on our website. And that's basically, we just want to say hello. We are here, use this as a resource. We do have an outreach team who comes to community events to table and pass out nonpartisan voter education materials. Feel free to reach out in a timely manner and we can accommodate you. All right, thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much for being here. Looking
Thank you
forward
for
to seeing
having
you
me. I
again.
haven't been to a neighborhood council meeting in a very long time.
Well, thank you for
Very
starting up with
organized.
us. Thank you.
Any
Any questions from around the table?
I've got a question actually for the office of Congresswoman Pedro.
Well, let's kind of take that, since we've passed that, but let's see if we have some time. Or you can actually talk to him outside if you like. We have a question from the audience.
All right.
Could you microphone for us, please?
Thank you very much for coming. And I just wanted to ask if there were any measures being taken, particularly for the November election, to ensure that we have free access and fair procedures during the general election. Thank you.
I mean, that's a good question, duly noted. As of now, all right, just basically as of now, there will be no changes in the elections in the state of California. Everything will be the same. The only thing which will be different is the time frame of the USPS delivery. So we encourage everyone, I mean, for the millions of years, you can go to the post office, turn in your ballot, and you know that it was good. You can even put it in a post office box and know it was good. So if you do take it on that day, make sure you see them stamp your ballot while you're there, and that means it's good. But we are encouraging folks to mail no later than 5 to 7 days prior, or go to a drop box, go to a vote center. That's what we're doing. So with a lot of things going on outside the state of California by the current administration, nothing has changed with us now. And our legal team, along with AG Bonta, are in court daily defending California's rights.
Very good, thank you.
All right. Okay. Another question.
Well, along those lines, as a person who's had a name change, I am very
Safe at Home program.
Yeah.
All right.
SAVE Act, yes. So how is that proceeding as far as trying to federalize the SAVE Act?
Oh, okay. So it's two different things. All right. So now, once again, in the state of California, nothing has changed. We're going to operate the way we are until told differently. Otherwise, I thought you were talking about our Safe at Home program. It's a confidential address program for folks who have changed their name.
Oh,
And
well,
I was going to address that.
Well, actually, that's a good thing because for a period of time, yes, that was a good concern of mine. Yes.
Yeah. But everything is the same in the state of California as of now.
Could I just expand
And
on
that's
something?
pretty much, I'm not an attorney, but our legal team is in the process of handling that. But we have big wins and nothing has changed. If that happens, then I'll be notified as outreach and then be able to outreach that to the community. But nothing has changed as of now. And for June 2nd, and it looks like for November as well. Not for us in California.
So just for those of you who are interested, the County of Los Angeles is instituting a group of poll watchers who are going to be out there, who are out there to actually intercede should ICE show up at any of our poll locations. And you actually have two of those individuals who have been hired by the county to do that. And one of them sitting right out there, Lori. And the other person is me. So I'll be doing it. We're doing it for 4 days straight toward the end, and they are extremely long hours. And so it's our job to make sure that ICE minimizes their intervention practices at poll locations. So anyway, with that, any other questions, comments? Mr. West, yes, sir.
I was going to close out saying we appreciate your service. And, we are coordinating with the 58 counties. I'll be doing it. Elba will be doing it. We're recruiting volunteers. So it's a big push, big operation. Yeah.
I think we had a quick question from the back, and we'll end there with
Please come to the mic.
So it's a pleasure to meet you all. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for what you do.
I'm Brooke Smith. This question is for Ray and Lori. How are the two of you going to handle all the different polling sites?
It's not just the two of us. There are 50 of us out throughout the County of Los Angeles doing the same thing.
But just even here how many polling sites are there in?
There's a few, but we're mobile, so we have people to back us up on those days.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Who do we have? Our mayor's representative. So nice to see you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board members. I do have quite a few updates, so please be patient with me. I'll try to be quick and thorough. First off, this just came out today. The mayor did announce that she has been able to secure more than $45 million in contracts for LA's local and small businesses. This was thanks to her launching just a couple years ago, Procure LA, which if you don't know anyone that has a small business, if you have a small business, don't know anyone that has a small business here in Los Angeles, they should be setting up the Procure LA account. It's on their website. And this is basically how the city sends out notice that they're looking for vendors or a contract opportunity. And that's how we'll be communicating more opportunities as we get closer to LA 28 and other major events here in Los Angeles. And then also I am in conversation with the San Pedro Chamber on securing a date, hopefully for June, where our small business team will actually be doing a presentation on Procure LA and contracts. So again, if you have a small business or know anyone who has a small business, make sure you're connected so you can get updates on all of that. And then also, the mayor was joined by other local leaders last week to celebrate the opening of the Metro D line. It was free to ride over the weekend. It is now celebrating the extension of the D line, which you can take now to get to Miracle Mile, which is really cool. So if you are a Metro rider, please check that out. And if you're not, highly recommend that you start taking Metro. And then also, I've been talking about this for, I feel like, forever, and so has the mayor, has been talking about our watch parties that we're going to be having for the World Cup and also during the Olympics. So happy to announce that we have finally launched our Kick It in the Park website. So if you go to, what is it, kickit.lacity.gov. You'll see the list of all the park sites where we will be having our watch parties. They are completely free. There will be large screens where community members, families, everyone can come together to enjoy the games. We will also have Rec and Parks having like soccer clinics or other activities for the kids to keep them busy. We are hopefully working on getting approval for some beer gardens, for the adults. So it should be a lot of fun. For our district got very lucky. Each district was allotted one site. Our district, of course, is amazing, and they were able to secure 2 sites. So for our district, I know we will be at Will Hall Park in Wilmington, and then also Ken Malloy Park as well, which is more central to our district. So please be on the lookout for that. Hopefully we will be releasing, we have to release the calendar for which games will have their watch parties where very soon. And then also, so many of you might already be familiar, but our city has a lot of barriers when it comes to improving our infrastructure. A large portion of that is due to the fact that we, for many years, or never actually, have had a infrastructure program or a comprehensive plan for our infrastructure here in Los Angeles. Every large city, every other large city in our nation has a comprehensive infrastructure plan, and Los Angeles did not. 2 years ago, the mayor did assign this task to come up with a comprehensive plan to our staff 2 years ago. Finally, in May, we did release, May 4th, we did release our comprehensive plan to build and maintain streets, parks, and other public spaces. So instead of having to, and this is going to, of course, take some time to roll out, but it will really help the process of when we're trying to pass these projects to improve our infrastructure. Instead of trying to pass something and then all of a sudden we have to scramble for the budget for it, right? This will kind of give us a plan towards the future so we can do things in a much more proper way. And then also the mayor did pass her 20th executive directive to increase job opportunities for formerly incarcerated Angelenos. Now, this isn't anything new. We've always had a program within the city to make sure that we are providing opportunities to our Angelenos who are formerly incarcerated. What this executive directive calls for is expands the outreach and the education, making sure that people actually know about it, that they're connected to small businesses, to the nonprofits and the entrepreneurs that could provide them with employment opportunities. It also ensures that contractors notify the city of job opportunities created by city contracts and provides interview referrals for city workforce centers, because that's mainly how we get these opportunities out there or inform people about job opportunities is through our workforce centers. And then also the mayor did announce a project that will create more than 500 units of affordable housing in downtown LA. And this was done through her adaptive reuse project. So buildings, large buildings that have been vacant and that have been in existence for at least 15 years can actually reuse their space to create affordable housing, which is great. I think we all know that we need more and more housing here in Los Angeles. And then I think that, of course, I'm sure you guys are all very much aware what season we are currently, but we are in budget season. It is coming very quickly to a close, but we're hoping for, a lot of positive outcomes as the committee closes out their review and then goes to full council. So we're there. Hopefully you guys submitted your community impact statements, I hope. And then also the mayor did announce her clean energy plan for the city. In case you didn't know, our city is now coal-free, but it doesn't stop there. We are continuing on the path to becoming 100% clean energy city. And then also wanted to share, your NEA will probably share more about this, but on Saturday, June 6th, we will be having our Empower LA Youth Conference. I will be there, so if you have any youth that are going, please tell them to check out the mayor's office table, where we have plenty of opportunities to get civically engaged and potentially a few internship opportunities. So please tell your youth about that. And then also, this Wednesday, the mayor will be in Sacramento. She'll be joined by Paul Krikorian, our former council president, who is now the executive director of our Office of Major Events. They will be going to Sacramento to advocate for more funding from the state to invest in our infrastructure here in Los Angeles. But those are all of my updates.
All right, great. Thank you. Chris, question?
Hi. Actually, back to your first item, I believe. So the Procure LA is now the go-to platform for business with the city, essentially. And if you have, and so the LA BVN site I see is no longer, it doesn't exist anymore. But if you're an existing city vendor, does your information get migrated to the new site, or do I have to
So it's not like it's a requirement for a small business within the city of Los Angeles, but if you're a small business that would like to have contracts with the city of Los Angeles, then yes, you have to create your Procure LA account. I wouldn't count on it being transferred over. I would go ahead and just create a new account with Procure LA.
Well, I'm asking if you have, for instance, an existing contract with the city, is that where you go to manage it or to review that?
You should, but I believe you would still have to create your account.
You'd still have to create a new account. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I see none.
Well, sort of.
Gwen?
So I'm glad to hear about the infrastructure policy that is being built. In regards to the green infrastructure, I'm hoping that the mayor is really going to focus on that. I don't know if you were here for the public statement, but green canopy is definitely under threat. CD15 really would appreciate the bolstering of green canopy, and it would be a very good thing for the Olympics to have this as a star, that we are putting in native plants, we are creating resiliency, we are creating the shade in all parts of our city. And I hope that there will be a focus on that and budgeting of that as well. Thank you.
Noted. Thank you.
April.
Hey, quick question. All great news. Thanks for the updates. I just have a question about the affordable housing. Over the years, we've went from the term low-income housing to affordable housing. And now people are using the term affordable housing for like $2,500 a month. And for someone like me who's had a career for 20 years, I can't even afford that now. So I'm just wondering, is there like a cap or a number amount that fits into the affordable housing category? Because with low income, there's actually like a statistical bracket of how much a person makes. But anyone can say affordable housing. So that I'm just curious about that. Even that small information will help me understand how I could even serve the community better as far as housing goes.
So your question is?
Yeah, I guess my question is for affordable housing, like what does that fit? Is there like $5,000 a month? You know, people can like put that number. So I'm not sure how to frame my question, but with the low income housing, we've changed terms over the years. So I'm just curious on what affordable means, because with low income, we actually have like statistical, like a bracket,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think I think the term affordable housing became more widely used because depending on what the project, what path it took to be built, it has requirements of 30% are going to be for low income, 40% are going to be for middle income. So it's all these like different kind of fragments. So that's probably why they use affordable housing more than just low income. But yeah, I can look into more of the specifics of what that actually encompasses that makes it affordable.
Yeah, it just seems like affordable housing is being used for still really expensive housing.
Yeah.
So it's just a concern that I have and many others. Like, what does that even mean?
Use the mic, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
I don't even think they're using low-income housing anymore. It's affordable housing, but...
It just depends. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it depends on the program that housing is under, right? So if it's low income, it's going to be based off your monthly income, right, where it's maybe 30% or 40% that you're paying into your rent. But if it's affordable, I think it just depends on what program it went through. Because I know, like, some affordable housing projects, like, they have requirements, like this percentage of your units need to be dedicated to this percentage needs to be dedicated to that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah, sorry for the complicated question. It just seems like we're fitting the affordable
It's a really good
category.
question, and I'm not an expert on it, and Drew might be able to shed more light. The term low-income housing actually has a chart, okay, with income and the size of units, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, family, single. Affordable housing, honestly, it's a really subjective term. They're not the same thing. And I was very confused by that for a long time. So maybe I can look into, and you can, to see if next month I can give you some information on what the actual definitions are.
Yeah, we just need more low-income housing rather than... So, thank you.
So, I'm Daniel Johnson from the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. I just also wanted to share, you can also look at it as how many people are in the household and how much that household makes annually. I think sometimes that's left out of the conversation as well, right? Me being the single male with the salary I make, I wouldn't necessarily qualify, but had I had a partner, maybe 2-3 kids, that shifts the conversation to me being able to be in low-income housing. And more recently, they also have something that applies towards folks that aren't necessarily deemed able to get affordable units and or low income. So they'll base it off your income, but they call it a workforce. And so still based on income, we'll put someone in that $2,500 a month range for a studio in LA, right? But that's how you can also look at it as well. So they also provide sometimes a baseline. And so I know some units by my, where I live, the base is $1,865, but that's compared to USC college students that's probably paying $3,000 a month for studio. So that's how you could kind of arrange it as well. Not the clearest definition, but those are some real-time examples that I can give.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was replaced or not, but we need more low-income housing, not affordable.
I always tell folks you want to advocate for extremely low-income housing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Young man in the back.
Yeah, so there's a House committee, it's the Select Committee on...
Can you
Please come to the mic?
Well, if it's directly to her, maybe you can have the conversation on the side. But if you have,
like, if you guys want to hear it, so there's a committee of State Assembly, the House Committee on Housing. and construction innovation. And I am really, really impressed by Assemblymember Puppy Wicks's foresight, and I think the economic trajectory of LA, the dialogue and arguments that are being held relative to low cost and affordable housing, I think can be addressed with more fiscal responsibility. And that's where my question sits. It's in terms of engaging this committee, California State developers, and something that really can be done very simply is having dialogue on returning savings to tenants of units when they're not in them. A very simple thing, plain sight type of thing that is not done right now and should be entertained. And that's it. And in what ways do you think engagement can be had to engage this committee? Because it is kind of reaching over the table to ask developers, but these developers are receiving quite a bit of money from the government to make these developments, so I think they should be able to afford returning a bit of savings.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't know too much about our committees with the state, but I can definitely check in with our state affairs person and see if they can share a little bit more knowledge with me.
Thank you. Any last questions? I see no hands. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Drew? Who? Okay, Yolanda Regalado?
Hello.
She'll say.
My name is Yolanda Regalado. Thank you, Board, for inviting me tonight. The reason for my visit today is to introduce myself. Most of you know me, but I want to introduce that I'm one of the 4 newly appointed commissioners for the Los Angeles Fire Department. Thank you. And I just wanted to let you know that what we're doing, we were appointed by the mayor, and we oversee the fire department right now. We have a whole new slate of commissioners, and we are now currently getting a new independent assessor for the commission. And that's pretty much it. So I just want to give you an idea of who I am, what we're doing. Most of you know that I'm a native of San Pedro. My heart and soul is the fire department, and I'm working really hard to make sure that we get back on track and that we support our local fire departments and our community in every way that we can. So with that, that's pretty much it, an introduction. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'm more than happy to answer anything that you have.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Quick questions? I see no hands. Thank you, Yolanda. For being. Oh, Kane. Oh, I thought we were going to get away without it.
Welcome. Welcome. As you know, there was a fire in the area. Could you just give us a little bit of update on that?
Can't hear you, King. I'm having a hard time hearing
He's
you.
asking about the fire on the 110 freeway.
Yeah.
That's still under investigation, but I didn't know that I was able to go there firsthand and see what's going on down there. We do have some tunnels that had been abandoned, but the tunnels were secured and the bars and things were taken off. There was an encampment underneath and it caught on fire. And so the reason they stopped everything going over the freeway is because of the structure. It was so hot that they thought that the freeway was compromised.
Yeah.
So they wanted to do precautions on that to make sure that if a semi went over it, it wouldn't have collapsed. These tunnels go about 200 feet inside. And yeah, so they've secured them since then. They're all secure. From what I've heard, they're being taken care of. But everyone that was living up there, they had a huge encampment up there. They are now I believe Circle came out, found them housing, and they're now being transitioned to Better Place.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have been working on an ordinance
Come to the mic, please.
Hi, congratulations. After honor. I've been working on an ordinance between the Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety, Council President Marquis Harris Dawson, and I really want to know, now that I have like the incredible opportunity to ask you this, is how do you feel about having it be, maintained and regulated, regular inspections and checks of abandoned, unused properties where there might be squatters, gas leaks, etc. What's your position on that?
Well, when it comes to safety, safety is number one. And so any of these abandoned sites and things need to be addressed, like everything. And I believe the people that are living there need assistance, and how we get them that assistance is up to City Council and different agencies working together. At this last fire, I went to the briefing. We had Caltrans, LA City, LA County, we had Port Police, we had U.S. Customs. Everyone was at the table, so they all know what's going on. So they're all going to address it in some way or another. And that will come down later on when they do the investigation and we get more information. Right now it's preliminary and we're just trying to figure out, where do we go from here? But what I'm glad about is that they did close off those tunnels, number one, because what I saw there is not good. Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Gwen, and we'll finish it off with
Yeah,
Gwen.
we have an item that we're going to be, a communication, and we were very, our community really wants to be informed, and it would be very good to get Caltrans and all agencies really, helping to assuage the tremendous concerns we have right now in regards to what will happen when the BTB bridge closes.
There are some good things
Yeah.
that are going to come out of this, and it'll come down the pipeline. I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
I want to be very transparent with everybody on what we're doing and the goal of the mayor and what she wants to be seen done, but also the security and the safety of the community. Working with LAPD and the different agencies around, I want to make sure that those are taken care of. And as a commissioner working with the new commission, they are all in to make sure that we move forward in a positive way.
Okay.
Yolanda, one thing that I've noticed with being a budget advocate too and stuff I've noticed a lot is that with infrastructure and things like alerts, we seem to be at the end of everything, the funding, the end of everything all the time. And so I hope and that the mayor sees that we need to start focusing on a little bit more of funds coming this way for infrastructure, for our fire departments, to get more available firefighters in this area, to get more support, to get more, just everybody partnering better together for the harbor area.
Yeah, and you're right on track, and I think the mayor is working on that with the budget. I can't talk too much because I don't know, but I know she's working very proactive on the budget with that. But just to let you know, I visited already 13 stations, and I've seen the living conditions, I've seen the mechanical, I've seen the vehicles, everything that they have to deal with, and yes, there's going to be some changes. So if you guys, if any of you have any questions and you know where I'm at, you know how to get a hold of me, just come talk to me. If I don't know what you're thinking or what you're seeing in the neighborhood, I can't present it. And like I said, I want to be as transparent as I can, proactive as I can, and I want to make sure that because there will be another disaster somewhere, we need to be prepared. And so we'll see what we could do.
We'll probably be at commission meetings.
Okay. Anything else?
Right there.
Yolanda, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Drew, CD 15.
I'm going to make this quick. Since Yolanda already touched a little bit on the fire, the council member did put forth many motions this week. I've put the council files together with the motions, so who would you like me to give this to?
Thank you, Drew.
These motions discuss things such as how can we compel Caltrans to improve coordination between their offices and the city during public safety and infrastructure emergencies involving state properties. Also, this Wednesday, there will be a town hall from 6 to 7:30 virtually, hosted by the Coastal San Pedro Neighborhood Council. I put a few flyers at the entrance. It'll be discussing the National Park Service study, which is it's called a special resource study, and they're currently gathering information about select sites along the LA coast through research and public input, and then we'll report these findings to Congress. The study will evaluate the potential for inclusion of the Los Angeles coast in the National Park Service system based upon whether it meets established criteria for significance, suitability, feasibility, and need. New National Park Service units are typically added by an act of Congress, and this would cover the coastline in San Pedro. So there's information here on how to join, and it is a presentation by the National Park Service. So that's also right here.
Did you say 4 or 3? 3? Okay.
And then to cover April Jones' question about affordable housing market rate, there is no fixed rent maximum that people can charge. However, for rent-stabilized units, there is a maximum for what they can raise your rent, which is 4% if they cover utilities or 3% if they do not. If it's not a rent-stabilized unit, meaning it was built after October 1st, 1978, the maximum is 5% plus the local consumer price index, which for Los Angeles is 10% once annually. Now, the housing authority of the city of LA has a fair market rent table that they use to determine how much they give vouchers for. And so for them, in our zip code, a studio unit fair market rate is $2,041. A one-bedroom is $2,289 monthly. A two-bedroom is $2,289. A three-bedroom is $2,887. A four-bedroom is $3,668. A five-bedroom is $4,060, and then it goes all the way up to 8 bedrooms. So it kind of gives you an idea of what fair market rate is considered for here. But a landlord can choose to charge as little as they want or as much as they want, and it's up to them whether or not they make that choice and who's also willing to pay for it. And I think that's it for me, actually.
All right. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. I see no hands. Drew, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Sure thing. Great.
I do have to say that watching Tim work in the last several weeks, especially, it's been something, and he's been really. I mean, all of you guys are just really digging into it.
I will say I thank Ezra for waking me up at 5:30 in the morning on Monday of last week, because that's how I was able to see that the freeway was closed. And then I woke everyone up at like 5:59. I'm like, where's the notifications? And the councilman's like, well, what if we all slept in? Who would have been doing this? That's why these motions came forth, because it's not our job as the council office to get those portable messaging signs out, to get that notification out. It was Councilman McOsker that got the notification out. It was Councilman McOsker who called Chief Ghazi from the Port Police to get the Port Police to put those portable messaging signs out on all the different exits, because
we were left with the dust. Left in the dust.
What?
We were left in the dust.
Yeah, for the second time in a few months.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Right.
Completely unacceptable. And then one thing, Circle, Someone asked about Circle, whether it's effective. I love Circle. I love the Circle team because I can report somebody an instance. Our office has the ability to dispatch directly together with the non-emergency line for LAPD, and I'm able to get feedback in real time on the situation of that person, what they need, if they were off of services, if they accepted them. More than 9 times out of 10, the individual refuses services, and probably 6 out of 10 times is already known to the Circle team. Unfortunately, Circle does not have the ability to put someone on a psych hold and transport them somewhere, so that is like a gap. So if there's a dangerous situation, then they're able to directly radio LAPD to come for assistance. But I will say that most of the time, 9 times out of 10, if not more, when we send the Circle team, there is a refusal of services. Oftentimes, the people that accept services the most are the people that are on the verge of homelessness, the people that are going to be evicted, or they're having a problem, or they need help, and they want to prevent themselves from falling into homelessness. Then they will accept whatever services that we have to offer them. But it's really hard once somebody is on the street for them to be in the right mental space to accept those services offered to them.
All right.
All right,
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the greatest law enforcement officer in the whole wide world is here. Sergeant? You have a question? I'm sorry.
We're on CD 15.
Come to the mic, please.
So with homelessness and trying to address those that are, I think, trying to, as I'm interpreting it, qualifying themselves as beyond the scope of rescue or aid, with all sobriety and clarity, do you suppose that there is some way to engage communities without marginalizing the minutiae of the issue of homelessness, whether it's economic or housing, to really provide a bit more working room? In music, there's like something called overhead. So you want to have enough room to actually, you want your signal to be clear to a certain extent. I'm not explaining it well, but how is CD15, how is that field office connecting with homeless communities in short?
So there's really no direct contact between our field office and people experiencing homelessness. We rely on services like Circle, which is the mayor's response team, to go and engage. We also rely on the MDT team, which is the mental health team of the county. And we also rely upon our partners like Harbor Interfaith, or even Catalina Hinojosa from San Pedro Recovery Alliance, who herself has experienced substance abuse and other issues, and she's able to relate to people on a great level and get them placed. So we rely on people with lived experience, including our Circle team, including our partner at San Pedro Recovery Alliance, and including the Department of Mental Health, to go and engage these individuals from a place of care and compassion. We also have other operations through our CEO operations, which are on RV encampments, where our unhoused services coordinator works with service providers and the unhoused people themselves to help figure out where their needs are not being met so that we can get them connected with what it is that they need. Ultimately, it is up to the person on whether or not they want to accept the help. In the state of California, I think in the United States, you cannot, unless they are gravely disabled or a danger to themselves or others, you cannot force somebody inside. You cannot force someone off the streets. It's a violation of their civil rights. So we can approach them with care and compassion and people with lived experiences, but we are not in a position to essentially pick people up and put them somewhere. That's not how it works. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Okay. Sergeant, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Again, Sergeant Terrazas. I'm the officer in charge of Harbor Division's Community Relations Office. I oversee all our senior lead officers, and I oversee our youth programs in the division. Officer Maloney couldn't be here today, so I'm going to give you some kind of numbers for April. Numbers for April, we had 0 homicides in the basic car 5A55. We had 2 reports of a rape. We had 4 robberies compared to 2 from the previous month. Aggravated assaults, we had 5 compared to 8 of the previous month. Burglaries, we had 2 compared to 5 from the previous month. Motor vehicle thefts, we had 3 reported compared to 5 from the previous month. Theft from motor vehicles, we had 11 compared to 13 from the previous month. Thefts, we had 19 reports compared to 19, so we kind of stayed the same there. And overall, we had like a 11% reduction in crime for your area. I'll give you some bigger numbers. Year-to-date numbers, they just came out today. For the division as a whole, we had 1 homicide. We all saw that on the news over the weekend in Wilmington, compared to 4 last year or at the same time. Rapes, we are up. We had 18 compared to 15 last year, year-to-date. Robberies, we had 67 year-to-date right now compared to 85 last year. Aggravated assaults in the division, we had 199 compared to 228 the previous year. Burglaries, 112 compared to 135. Motor vehicle thefts, 241 year-to-date compared to 462 last year. Thefts from motor vehicles, 256 compared to 337. And theft, 277 year-to-date compared to 360. Overall, we're down 27, almost 28% year-to-date from last year. As far as, obviously, we were involved with the fires over the 110 freeway. We did the best that we can. We were kind of limited to because it is Caltrans. We are aware of the homeless encampments. They're right next to our station. But again, we're limited because of jurisdiction stuff. We have to work with Caltrans to help us out with that. Any other questions you might have for me or anything? I don't have too many updates in the area.
Chris?
Yeah, I was just curious because we're used to hearing, the year-to-date and month-over-month changes in the statistics, and I'm assuming this all kind of goes into a big database. And I know that in years past, the city had this kind of big data approach where, and I'm assuming these things tend to kind of evolve and become more sophisticated with time. Is there, or in use, or are there any plans for sort of, sophisticated data analysis that would give some reasons? Like, for instance, when you see like I think I may have even asked Officer Valloni about this in the past, is that, for instance, if you have a lot of theft by motor vehicle cases go up, is that the sort of thing where a patrol officer or a detective might go, okay, well, this is probably like there's an individual or a small group of people who are just busier this month than or whatever? Are there other factors that might be used to sort of predict or explain what's happening in these trends? Like, for instance, to be down 28% is a great thing, but is there a way that the department looks at that would say, let's say we have some economic data that over the quarter, or there's weather changes or something else that helps give you a big picture of like why these things change the way they do?
So Harbor Division, every division has a crime analyst unit. Here at Harbor, we have a great person that's all about the numbers, very good at what he does, and that's all he does. He looks at our numbers, looks at our crime trends, and he's the one that sets our missions.
Oh, okay.
As the data comes in, he deciphers that. We have all kinds of programs with maps. We're all about dots on a map. And this person goes through that. He has a team, and basically every week he's analyzing our information as it comes. He gets all the reports that come in through the division, and he moves our resources around. Obviously, he has, he brings that up to our captains, and our captains decide where to move our resources. But it's primarily because of him, and our successes are because of our crime analysts. They're always on it. They're always sending us numbers every day. Not every day, but every month we get this right here, and it gives us a map. This is your area, and it's all the dots that happen in April. We're always looking to improve, to move our resources to where they need to be, and we do have those programs in place, and they get better and better every year. And I think that attributes to our success in lowering our crime here in the harbor.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Right.
Any other questions?
Well, just really
Hang
quick.
on a second. We have one here.
the data for the license plate readers, is that starting to be incorporated in the analysis, and is that proved to be something that has been beneficial in analyzing whether it's somebody coming from out of town or that's actually helped in some crime statistics and studies and identification?
It does help. Everything helps for us. All our vehicles have license plate readers, or most of our vehicles have license plate readers. And so as the officers are traveling down the street, those cameras are constantly all they do is take pictures of license plates. So that obviously we can identify any stolen vehicles, whether they're parked or they're moving. And again, those plates are constantly being taken pictures of. And obviously, if a crime comes up where we get a vehicle description, we get a partial plate or anything like that, we can use those systems to help us identify the vehicle and eventually identify the people that were driving those vehicles that committed a crime. But it is very helpful, and it's being used in a great way for us, and it's a force multiplier for us.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from around the table? Kelly?
Can you tell Valoni that we missed him, please? Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I will. I think there's a question here.
Christina.
I just wanted to inquire, because I know we're always limited on resources, and the resources of the officers is very, we don't have a lot here. Will there be a launch of security drones to then reduce the amount of officers going out to certain calls based on what the drone sees to reduce those times?
So we do have a drone program. It's in a pilot phase right now, and we tried it out here in Harbor. We're finding some issues that we're trying to address. Like here in Harbor, we're so spread out, right? We have it to the 405 all the way to Point Furman, and the technology that we have, or the drones that we have right now. It wasn't helping us because of the flight time of these drones are limited to minutes, it's 35 minutes of battery. So if the drone would fly out to Point Furman, it could get there, but depending on the situation, is it going to be up there long enough for it to come back? So we're going through a lot of vendors and trying to find out what works best for us. Obviously, money is a big issue, right? Those drones are expensive. What we're doing now is we have drones in cars, and the drone units listening up to calls, and they'll respond to a call if they're local or they're close, and they'll set up the drone there. And basically, the guy sets it up, and they're being manned from downtown. And then they take over, they fly, and basically he's a catcher, right? If the drone needs to come down, it comes down, he catches it, and if he has another one, we could put it back up in the air. But we are working through it. It's still a pilot program. We do have them out there. And again, it's something that we're constantly working on to try to improve it and try to come up with something solid for the communities.
And is this something that we might have more in place for the upcoming 4th of July and issues with fireworks?
That's something I would have to ask the drone unit on what they're, obviously it's a program that's building. We started small, and as we're getting bigger, and obviously the budget that they have as well. But we might run into some issues with fireworks, right? Those drones might get hit. There's stuff that they can point at them and shoot them down. They're pretty expensive equipment. I don't know if we're going to have them up. They're not flying 24/7. They get deployed as needed. We use them in perimeter settings. But we are trying to use them to where if they're when they were here at the harbor, if they heard a call, they would go out there. Obviously, they get there a lot faster, and they could determine whether a response is needed from police officers or not. Or if they saw something that wasn't happening there, they can clear the call from their vantage point instead of sending resources out there. But that's one of our goals, to try to help with our low numbers in officers, try to get these drones to go overhead, and if there's no need for us, then they can cancel us and they can get the right resources there, if it's fire or even circle team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
John?
Sarge,
Sir.
question. In the parking lots, a lot of Targets and Ralphs and all, they've got those man-made, the
Those towers?
The towers and everything, have they been pretty effective throughout? I mean, it's not just us here.
Mhm.
I see them everywhere I go.
Well, those are contracted by the companies, right? They're privately owned, probably most likely security companies that have that. Do they share that information with us if there's a crime, right? And we're investigating a crime and that camera caught something. It's a great deterrent. They're out there, they're big, they got little flashy lights on them, and it does help deter crime from those parking lots. Just like having a sign in front of your house, right, that says you have ring or you have ADT or something like that. It's a great tool. It's a great deterrent for the companies. We encourage them because it's a force multiplier for us as well. Because if we're not there and they have some kind of audio or video recording, it could help with our investigations.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands up. Audience? I don't. Okay. It's got to be a quick question. So.
Come on up.
Hi, thank you so much for your service. LAPD, absolutely instrumental to my experience organizing in Los Angeles, and I would say working towards a more fruitful social narrative with a lot of these social organizations throughout Los Angeles. The quick question is, how do you think, two things, more advanced drones can be activated in terms of production, in terms of solicitation by the Los Angeles labor sector to support the efforts of LAPD. And then the second part of that is how do you foresee use of robotics helping to decrease response time?
So there's a lot of agencies or a lot of private companies that do have drone systems. I actually was with Valero. I met with Valero, and they have a drone program nationwide in all their facilities. And they have a drone program here in Wilmington. That they have a drone detecting system for their, obviously it's a critical infrastructure for the area. So they have a system where they can spot a drone over their property. And they can identify the drone, and they can identify where it launched from. And they have them all over. Here, it's been up for about 4 or 5 months. And because they're so out of the way and it's mostly industrial, there's no residential area in there. The only pickups that they have is their own drones. But, they have other places, like they're right off the Mississippi. They have a facility out there, and they're refinery is surrounded by residential areas, and they get hundreds of hits every week because of these kids or people that fly them commercially or whatever. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Obviously, because they are a critical site and they're susceptible to some kind of attack or terrorism to them. They felt it's very important to spend that money on that kind of technology. But we do work with other agencies that are private businesses that do have drones out there. And again, they share that information with us, especially if there's a crime being committed, and we can tap into their feeds or to whatever detection that they have to help us with our investigations. As far as robotics, I think we tried that, and I think they took away that dog from us, that robotic dog. I know the fire department has it. They used it here in San Pedro, right under the freeway. I think they sent that dog out there to kind of look for them because it was kind of hazardous. I don't know if Yolanda's still here, but I saw it on the news. They, instead of black and white, it was red and yellow. But as far as us right now, we've tried the technologies. It was kind of taken away from us, but it's not to say that it will never come back, kind of thing. But I think our department's open to that, and we're going to evolve with technology as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Sergeant Terrazas, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate the information. All right. We can now, let's see, I think I got everyone. Oh, Daniel. Where's Daniel? I can't see from, there you are. I couldn't see you. Daniel, so glad to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
We need to change. Nice stuff. Very good.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Johnson from Empower LA. I am the liaison for Northwest San Pedro. I'm going to be brief, so get straight to the point. May 20th, Tuesday, 12 to 1 p.m. on Zoom. We'll be hosting a brown bag titled with the City Clerk's Funding Office and their policy guidelines. So that's going to be the brown bag lunch. It says Office of the City Clerk Funding and Policy Guidelines. That would be the topic. Again, that's May 20th, 2026, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on Zoom. The second one I have is Tuesday, May 27th, 2026, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on Zoom. It is another brown bag agenda writing workshop for neighborhood councils. Again, that date is Tuesday, May 27th from 12 to 1 via Zoom. Saturday, June 6, 2026, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Los Angeles City Hall. It will be the Empower LA Youth Conference. Again, that'll be Saturday, June 6, 2026, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Los Angeles City Hall. Saturday, June 27, 2026, 7:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at City Hall will be Budget Day hosted by the Budget Advocates. Again, that will be Saturday, June 27th, 2026, from 7:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Los Angeles City Hall. Zoom licenses are currently, they went up in price. The previous rate was $200. It is now $255.61 per license. Canva is also $100. You're like, Daniel, why do we need Canva through you all? You don't necessarily need to fund Canva through our department. However, our department does our best to create a lot of different templates for folks to use. And so that's why you will want to opt in purchasing Canva through us, just so you could get, that upper, more support around creating, let's say, imagery for your outreach. Recently, the department shared out information on behalf of hybrid meetings for NCAD, the Neighborhood Council Advice Division. You can read your email for that information. And then recently, I just sent communication out to secretaries and presidents on my own accord. If you did not know, the treasurer's training, or the funding training, I should highlight, is no longer in the Cornerstone portal. The Office of the City Clerk has updated or is updating that training, which means all current folks who do not have that training completed, or it's expired, or newly appointed or elected unto the board for the time being will be exempt from that training, needed to be renewed or completed at the time. I do not work for the Office of the City Clerk, so please don't ask me questions about it. I just took it upon myself once I got a call from Ray to kind of jump the gun, if you will, and share that information. That information is supposed to be provided by the City Clerk, but we do have wonderful folks on you all's board who likes to keep track of that information and support others by letting them know that, hey, this training is due, and so therefore it just prompted me to just go ahead and just share that information. I'm not sure if the City Clerk's office will share that information on the May 20th brown bag they have, but I will say the new training may be scheduled to be out by June 1st. Again, not the Office of the City Clerk, but that's all I have in this moment. That's all I have. I just wanted to make sure you all have the dates. In your email, I did attach more thorough announcements. You can click the links and register for any of those events. And that's it. Yes.
On those two brown bags, the email text says Tuesday the 20th and Tuesday the 27th.
Yes.
Those dates do not exist in this year. It is Wednesday the 20th and Wednesday the 27th, or it is Tuesday the 19th and Tuesday the 26th.
I will go back and let our comms team know. Thank you for that. Still registered. Still registered. Yes, Adrian.
You feel like you know what I'm going to
I saw you with your hand up.
I just wanted to ask about my bylaw updates.
Your bylaws, you'll get them by Friday this week.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Yes. Appreciate you. Yes.
Hi. For the subscriptions for Zoom and Canva, those are the monthly rates?
No, they will be annual rates.
Oh, okay. So that's a lot more reasonable. I just wanted to make sure.
It allows, so when you all purchase, it allows us to invoice the neighborhood council. And you have a wonderful team here that takes care of all that already.
So we would just put it in our annual budget.
Okay. Yes.
So the Zoom was done, but we didn't, and nobody sent an invoice for it to pay it. So I sent you the BAC for it.
You're good. What I did was forward it to our.
They did this
the team
before, and
that
then we got
leads it.
cut off because they never sent an invoice to pay it.
Well, they'll get to it. I know I was
Canva
crossing my
one-
T's and dotting my I's and making sure I pushed it to the folks that needed to
Right.
get it, you know.
And the Canva one, I've never received the amount that we're supposed to even be charging for
It's
the Canva.
100. That's why I added that. I found out recently. It's 100.
But I need to do a BAC for it because we've not done it for the 26-27 fiscal year yet.
Just a messenger. You don't got to shoot me.
Okay.
Yes.
Are the brown bags recorded, or is that you're on it and that's it?
They are recorded. They do provide the slides and the materials. Just may take a little while to get that out. Okay. Yes.
Well, apparently you've had to talk about Canva a little bit with other MCs. So, do you know if, just as a little technical thing, it's a yes or no, super quick. Do you know if anybody who already has a Canva account can liaise with that Empower LA version and actually kind of work on their own Canva account with that? You know, kind of transfer and then transfer it back to the account.
So, not clear of your question, but I could assume that you're asking if you all, with access, would you still be able to create your own things?
And then if you had something on your own and transfer it into the Empower LA.
Yeah. So it's not, for clarity, it's not an Empower LA account. It'll still be your Canva account. It just gives access to the materials we create. It's still full-fledged yours. You can do whatever you want with Canva. It's just that it gives you access to the things we've created for you all, some drafts and templates and things of that nature. That reminded me of ADA compliance with websites. Please look at that information that's also been shared from the Department of Disability. I am here to support in whatever capacity I can. Our department is doing our best to reach out to all web hosts or web providers to see their capacity in providing these ADA or supporting you all with ADA compliant updates to your websites and materials. If they're not able to do that, we are still seeking resources and more information to try to support you all. It's been extended for another year. I share this to say this will be a great time for you all as a neighborhood council to begin to advocate for yourselves in regards to the city, committees, council offices, wherever you may find the need to advocate so that you can so you all can try to get funds to support these efforts, right? Our department does not have the funds, but we do have the opportunity to try to support. As more information comes along the pipeline, for that, I will make sure to share that with you all. In closing, I would say that Microsoft seems to have the capacity to make PDF files ADA accessible for your websites and materials in general. So I'm not well versed in that as of yet, but that may be a tool that you could utilize to try to update some of those documents with the information. Okay. With that being said, are there any more questions?
No? I see no hands.
Okay. As I shared previously, I did email you all an attachment with all the updates in Thorough, and I will make sure we get those updated dates. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think when you go in and register, it has the Wednesday date match, but the text of the email does not. So assuming the registration page is correct, then eventually it's okay.
Good catch.
All right. I do believe that closes out item number 5.
That's really long.
All right. Consent calendar, we have 2 items. Approve April 13th Stakeholder meeting minutes and approve 25th 5th of April, the Board and Stakeholder meeting minutes. We have two sets.
So moved.
Second, anyone? Adrian. Okay, take the vote. Any questions? No. I see none. And just to let you know, my training is stuck in 0 right now. So I don't know.
Oh, I already know.
No. Because you take the opportunity to make sure that everyone else knows. So I'm just letting you know that.
Well, based on the new rule of it doesn't matter anymore for the funding training
It's on
until
hold
it gets renewed,
I'm just
until it
letting you
gets
know.
updated. You can actually vote on stuff, anything.
Everybody can, except for me.
I just wanted to.
Well, yeah. Okay, so for the consent calendar, John Mavera,
Yes.
Ben Brexford,
Yes.
Christina Calandra,
Yes.
Vic Kristen Sinai, May Cordera Herrera. Whoop.
Yes.
Okay. Adrian Fernandez,
Yes.
Cynthia Gagne,
Yes.
Gwen Henry,
Yes.
April Jones,
Yes.
Melanie Breck,
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
She went to the restroom.
Okay. Kane Nicholas. He's also. Oh, okay. We're doing the consent calendar, Kelly. How do you vote?
Yes.
Kane Nicholas is out, though.
Yep.
Ray Regalado.
Yep.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Chris Fay.
Yes.
Okay, that's 14 ayes and 1 not voted because he's out of the room.
All right.
I have a question. I have to head out, but I was wondering if you have any other questions relating to any additional agenda items that have yet to come, if you need my response on any of them.
I'm after the vote tonight, Axel wants me to send in everything, the letters that we're doing.
Okay.
And I'll CC you.
Sounds good. I already downloaded that letter.
And
shared
also
it.
the CIS.
Okay, I downloaded that letter and I already shared it with Axel, so if it passes, then we'll get it
Okay.
too.
Alrighty.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Drew. All right, that closes out number 6. Moving on to number 7, and that is budget and finance. And we're really running heavy duty on running out of time. So let's get this thing in real quick and out. So, Melanie?
Yeah. So the first one is the MER, and it's on page 7.
Thank you.
So the SATA committee. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. Kane?
Aye.
John Barbera?
Aye.
Vic?
Aye.
Ray?
Yep.
Ben?
Aye.
Adrian?
Yes.
Cynthia?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Gwen?
Yes.
Melanie, yes. Kelly?
Yes.
Angela?
Yes.
Chris?
Aye.
And Christina?
Yes.
Okay, the next one is the budget. Again, out of committee on page 9. Any discussion? Okay, Kane?
Aye.
John Barbera?
Aye.
Vic?
Aye.
Ray?
Yes.
Ben?
Aye.
Adrian? Cynthia?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Gwen?
Yes.
Melanie, yes. Kelly?
Yes.
Angela?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And Christina?
Yes.
Okay, the next one, you'll see a representation on page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, and page 14. So, when Budget and Finance met, we discovered that we were going to have more than $10,000 left in rollover. And it was estimated to be approximately $1,500 more in excess, and we don't want to give it back to the city because that will happen if we have more than $10,000. So, what the thought was in the committee is to take that $1,500 excess that we have And what we wanted to do is have hybrid meetings and buy that equipment that we can use to have hybrid meetings. So that way we can be on Zoom here as well as be in person. And we found out from the town hall that they did for the Fred Brown thing, the type of hotspot that they used in order to be able to do a Zoom. And we got the exact model that Rudy used to have the hotspot for it to be able to be done. And put the package together. So that motion is out of committee. And as you see on the spreadsheet, this is the whole breakdown on here of everything, what it costs and how much it costs to get a camera, to put it up on a tripod so it can rotate when somebody's talking in the audience or somebody's talking up here. And then the Wi-Fi hotspot, extension cords, monopod surge protector, and all of that. It comes out to $1433.82.
Just for clarification, the quantity of the wireless router is not 4, it's only 1. The price is okay, but the quantity shows as 4, and it's really just 1.
Quantity for what?
Yes.
Oh, for Wi-Fi hotspot. It's just 1. Yeah. Oops.
And I believe, it's not going to bring it over $1,500, but I believe there is going to be tax on the one that doesn't show tax on the.
No, that is a tax price when I looked on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
April?
Also, monopod or tripod? It says
it's a mono tripod is what it's called.
Okay, copy that, because a monopod needs a person.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a mono tripod. It has feet on it, but it can also be handheld.
Copy that.
Well, I'm letting you know that the motioning to individuals as they speak, everybody's going to have to be very, very still. It's not going to work the way you think it does. So it probably will have to be fixed rather than.
It's going to be on a fixed tripod.
No, what I'm saying.
Forget it. Yeah. Technology.
There's another problem.
Yeah.
I have a question. Yes. I really don't want to be that guy, but have we previously passed a motion to do hybrid meetings before?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just worried because, I'm not the biggest fan of a hybrid meeting, so it's something like this I probably would not support at this time. So I just want to get that clarification.
Will the visuals actually be recorded so that if, for example, we don't have a Wi-Fi, that you think that we have
the hotspot will give us Wi-Fi.
Okay, you sure? Okay, but is there a license involved with that?
Huh?
Is there a license involved?
No, we tap into their Wi-Fi.
There is
with the hotspot. Yeah,
so there is Wi-Fi,
but it just doesn't come into here.
Okay,
without a boost.
And quick question: who will be running the tech?
Huh?
Will you be running the tech? Who will be running?
Run it.
Huh?
You're gonna need 3 people to run it.
No.
2 camera people and 1.
One camera.
Just 1 camera.
One camera.
1 camera.
It's 1 camera on a tripod.
The 360 camera?
it's not going to work. It's not going to work the way you think it is. We are not going to be able to have a 360, and it will turn for.
A point of order: can we just have people wait to be recognized before we have an open discussion?
Okay.
You'll be able to hear them, but you won't be able to see them.
Yeah, and again, as this was an action to reduce or maximize the resources that we have, so while it may have been a shorter time span, the goal is to utilize the money. We can always have the equipment, and when we're ready, we can,
add to it.
Yeah, with what Kane's saying, and this is what we were talking about at the Budget and Finance meeting, this will get us down the road to sample it and try it. Yeah. If we need a second camera, then we'll have next year's funds to buy a second camera. We'll also have some rollover money to buy a second camera if we need it. This gets us down the road, and we aren't giving $1,500 back to the city, and it's something that we've really wanted to do in the past, and we had talked about doing. So, any more discussion?
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward process. We can establish a wide shot of the room. People can see what's going on. They'll hear the audio. They don't have to have a close-up on every speaker. It can be configured for our purposes. You don't have to run it manually. Just turn the camera on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I do have a question on staffing. John, you kind of spurred this question. If we're going to have this set up, will we need an additional person to run this setup? John has this function, and so will.
It's just set up right off the bat. You put it on the tripod, you put the camera on it, you turn it on, and then you have the laptop here set up with the agenda on here. We might need somebody to sit there, but a board member can sit there and just scroll the agenda.
A board member really shouldn't be doing that because they got to be present in the meeting.
Well,
so
maybe
we need
we
somebody
can get
else. So
Cheryl
I mean,
to
that's
come
just
back to meeting.
We'll sort that out later.
Yeah, that's
no.
a separate
I
consideration.
just wanted to make sure if we have the staffing.
Yeah.
Because I think I heard something from there.
Maybe Cheryl could come back to meetings.
I hope we figure that out before we get it.
You're gonna need somebody to control the video. And
Yeah. Okay.
shoot the ceiling, nobody even know it. They won't hear it. They hear it.
So, call for the vote. Kane.
Aye.
John Barbera.
Aye.
Vic.
Aye.
Ray.
Yep.
Ben.
Aye.
Adrian.
Abstain.
Cynthia.
Yes.
April.
Yes.
Gwen.
Yes.
Melanie. Yes. Kelly.
Yes.
Angela.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Christina.
Yes.
Okay. Now, on to the next thing.
Okay, all three of those.
So we have the transportation letter. Is next. Okay. Where is my agenda? Okay. So the next item, we'll go into public safety, is on page 15.
Page what?
Page 15. And this letter is in response to the 110 freeway fire, as well as in response to there's been 4 events. There was a big rig overturn igniting the lithium battery, and then there was a 24-hour Henry Hudson hazardous material ship fire that they failed to notify people until like middle of the night, 1:30 in the morning. And then the fallen power pole with a full traffic call at 110 terminus on Gaffey. And then we had the 2-day blockage to the freeway because of the fire. So, if you heard what Drew said regarding the notification system, where Caltrans closed the freeway and never notified CD15 until the following morning when CD15 woke up and saw Facebook posts and got all kinds of messages and everything. And then CD15 had to call EMD and get the notification that the freeway was closed. But by then, people had already started leaving to go to work and couldn't get on the freeway. It was all closed. So that can't happen, especially if we're going to be closing the bridge for 2 years. That's going to be our only thoroughfare on the 110 to get from point A to point B. Caltrans needs to pony up and start doing what they're supposed to do and being a little bit more of a team player with the harbor area. And so this letter, basically, hopefully everybody read it and has looked at it. It's been posted. And basically, it's just saying in the bottom that, the 110 freeway corridor from Gaffey entrance to 405 transition, human activity block off tunnel excess, draining culverts, and focus health and welfare resource to lessen human activity from all landscaped areas and street off-ramps abutting the 110 corridors to the 405 transition. Freeway infrastructure, coordinate with responsible entities to inspect, repair, replace all signage, power poles, power lines, other infrastructure that crosses and abutes 110 freeway, side roads, detours for commuter traffic, entirely resurface the prepared damaged potholed roads designated as detour routes for commuter traffic. Designated routes should be the best maintained routes with the clearest signage to keep people from diverting into neighborhoods. Street improvements of all alternate routes, traffic timing on surface streets of all lights, electric signage messages across 405, 110, 710, 605, 901, 105, 10 freeways. And we attached our 204 letter to this because we've already commented on the EAR about this. Council File 260251, we already did an impact statement on this about the power pole response time, electronic notification system protocols. So we're just reminding Caltrans that, hey, and we're going to notify everybody else on this list too, that, you know, look at us, start paying attention to us, start paying attention to the harbor area, and start doing a better notification system, and, you know, everybody work together. So this is out of committee. Any discussion?
It just seems like all of this could have been prevented with a simple phone call. Just call the MD and said, hey, we're closing the freeway, please let people know. And the fact that everybody found out kind of by accident it's almost unbelievable. Like if you'd made it up, someone would have said, no, surely, you know, this was a comedy of errors. Or not even errors, because it was negligence, honestly.
Exactly, and it scares me with the bridge closing for 2 years that this is going on. And so I just also want to thank Chris, Gwen, and myself and everybody collaboratively working on this letter. It was a team effort of people to put this together, and I appreciate it. So, can I call for the vote?
Wait, I saw
Go ahead.
Oh, I just was going to ask if Caltrans has been responsive to the previous, because they seem to have a history of negligence, as we know.
They have not responded to CIS or any other.
They should be on the agenda every month. Let's blow them.
They need to come here.
Blow up the communication. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, that's what I wanted to comment on, is that this is a first attention-getting letter, but I think that all of us in the community are going to have to continue to be very aggressive about it. As you know, we have been very committed to giving input, and they seem to be on deaf ears. And this is almost like an "I told you so" that the whole community has done, and it's absurd. You know, I would hope that we still have our input in the in those committees, and we are probably going to have to write more letters to say we need to be highly involved.
I'm sure we will. Call for the vote, Vic?
John Barbera.
Yes.
Ben Brooksport.
Yes.
Christina Calandra.
Christine?
Yes. I heard Jane Fonda. I was like, what?
Vic Christensen, aye. Naya Cordero Herrera. Adrian Fernandez. Cynthia Gagne.
Yes.
Ben Henry.
Yes.
April Jones.
Yes.
Melanie Albrecht.
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
Kane Nicholas. Ray Regalado.
Yes.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Chris Faye.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
So I want to make a quick comment based on this public safety, very good letter on public safety going directly to Caltrans, and also all the people who are going to get copies. But here's something that I want to make sure that we keep in mind for the future. Mm-hmm. It is my opinion that Caltrans will not be the only guilty party when it comes to impacting Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council in future projects that are right around the corner or coming up. For those of you who I've had detailed conversations with about Phillips 66, about the John S. Gibson parking lot project, and also the Caltrans closure of Vincent Thomas Bridge. That is going to make major impacts on our traffic for our community members as they try to navigate Gaffey, Pacific, even Western, and things like that. So we have to start thinking, and Melanie, I'm specifically talking to you, about this because of the fact that this is a public safety piece, and we're going to have to start looking at what that traffic's going to look like in the future. I've taken a couple of you people on tours of what that thing looks like, and I want to make sure that we don't lose sight of the fact that we are in a good position right now to be able to look at what that's going to look like, and we got to be doing our research now to be able to impact, especially Phillips 66. That is a massive project, and it's going to affect not only us aesthetically from what we can see from Gaffey and our community members looking up there toward Phillips 66 as it is now and as it's planned to be, but it's the fact that, you know, we're going to have heightened truck traffic on John S. Gibson, and which will mean that they'll also find their way on Gaffey, which means that it'll also find its way in Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council. So let's start thinking about that, and I'd be happy to give you all my impressions, given some of the tours that I gave a few people, to make sure that there are things that we have to start looking at as a community. Thank you.
Can we do the CIS first before the target letter, and then I will do my public comment and then do the target letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to do item number 7B3 first. So this is a council file. We didn't have quorum, so it's not out of committee. But this is regarding, and for some reason the motion didn't show up in the packet, but this is the council file that I wrote for public safety, and Kelly and I reviewed it, and it has to do with sidewalk repairs, for more funding for sidewalk repairs and the street lights, et cetera, for communities. And so what this says is the Northwest San Pedro Council supports the full restoration of resources to the Department of Public Works and Department of Transportation. Restoring adequate funding to these departments will improve health, safety, and accessibility of our communities while reducing city liability. Streetlight repairs, crosswalks, curb cuts, and this motion will help speed the implementation of these improvements. We need to make sure the city is following ADA requirements, as the city fails to meet even basic accessibility requirements, including Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which legally requires cities to reconstruct all curb ramps that are not ADA compliant with repaving. At current funding levels of 200 curb ramps per year, it would be impossible to comply with this federal requirement. After the passage of major HLA, the city has its own legal requirements to upgrade certain active transportation. We recommend change in the budget to a 2-year cycle plan and formalize a 5-year capital improvement plan to support long-term planning for these types of funding projects that are in dire need. So I need a move.
So moved.
Second is Adrian. Okay, any discussion? No? Okay. So call for the vote. Kane?
Aye.
John Barbera?
Aye.
Victor?
Aye.
Ray?
Yes.
Ben?
Aye.
Adrian?
Yes.
Cynthia?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Gwen?
Yes.
Melanie, yes. Kelly?
Yes.
Angela?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And Cynthia? Or Christina, I mean.
Yes.
And Mel? Or May?
Your mouth.
May, yes. Oh, God. Okay, so that does that. Now, I will go do my public comment.
Explain what you're doing too, Melanie.
And what page you're on?
Page 32 is the CUB discussion. That's the Target license, alcohol license, the revisions to it.
Thank you.
And the additions.
Hear me? There we go. Okay. So as you know, my name is Melanie Lebrecq, and today I'm speaking up here as a stakeholder under California Code Regulation Section 18704D2. I'm speaking in a personal capacity as a stakeholder and a neighborhood watch coordinator for the San Pedro Taper neighborhood area that is adjacent to said property at 1701 North Gaffey Street. Due to living 500 feet from the property mentioned, I will be required to recuse myself after my public comment. Target has applied for a full liquor license for their store. There is concern regarding this application as follows. In 2008, when the store was built, they applied for beer and wine license. This was approved with assurances conditions. This is very common and normal where those come from building and safety, police commission, the city, and neighbors and neighborhood councils. In 2017, they wanted to extend their beer and wine license hours, and the neighborhood council did a letter with partnership with the San Pedro Chamber. These assurances were added to the conditional use of their license. This was supposed to be a one-year review after this was done, but I have not seen any indication that this happened. There have been they have not complied with several of the assurances that were added to the CUB in 2017 in the letter between the Chamber and the Neighborhood Council. There is constant trash in the landscape berm, bottles of urine placed on Gaffey Street in their berm, as well as carts filled with trash and urine in the parking lot. Carts are not regularly retrieved and most of the time scattered throughout lot. Several times attempts have been made with the CD15 and through Drew where she's had to write letters to Target to have them comply with cleaning their berm. Car campers, trucks, and RVs still sleeping in parking lot. This has been addressed with the store and with LAPD. The store claims that they cannot do anything when they're closed, and they've asked LAPD to patrol. But our LAPD is stretched thin as it is and it can't be acting as security for Target at night. They say they remove the trespassers in the morning, but they've already stayed all night, and there's nowhere for them to relieve themselves, so they use the retaining wall and landscape berm. Imagine the smell on a hot summer day in your backyard of the smell of urine and bowel movement. There have been incidents of what appeared an adult film with lights all in the back of a van set up shooting in the parking lot. There have been sex workers operating tricks out of a van there for several weekends. There were customers seen in and out of her truck at night by the neighbors coming and going from their port jobs. There has been drug deals witnessed going on behind the retaining wall of neighbors. There have been 2 fires started in the parking lot by Ann House to stay warm. There is constant solicitation of goods, signature requests, and fake school discount cards out in front of the storefront. Many residents of San Pedro have complained about this, and this still continues. All of these things are not conducive to the nuisance laws required by ABC regulations. In the assurances on 217 letter, the sidewalk was supposed to be fixed on a 50-50 partnership with the city and has never been done. Currently, it is being used in an e-bike jump ramp. The water leak on Capitol Drive continues to be a nuisance to be in the neighborhood with algae and mosquito larvae growth. This is due to a Target construction defect. The hearing was poorly noticed and is not in compliance with ABC posting and notice regulations. They didn't even notify CD15. The only notice they posted was a hearing notice against the wall of my home. I am not against the liquor license. I am concerned that they are not following through with assurances that they were instructed to follow. The non-compliance and the improper notice of the public hearing is also a problem. They need to answer to why they are not following the assurances. And with that, I recuse myself.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you.
So we have a letter targeted. Bad choice of words. So we have a letter going to Target regarding their questionable behavior as a neighbor. So, has everyone had the opportunity to read it?
What page, please?
That'll be 32.
Oh,
I think it's 32, isn't it?
It's page 32.
Yeah.
Now, Melanie had mentioned in 2008 that the committees went through and reviewed the license. You will see that that's an addition to what's in your packet. I added the interdepartmental correspondence. That was the original 2008 review of the license and approval of it. And in there, you will see that there are items which the police department had recommended, including that the petitioner shall police the area under the control of the market in an effort to prevent the loitering of persons about the premises as depicted on ABC 253, dated at the time of granting of the permit. There's other items there where they are responsible for Target is responsible for having security, and that it's free for litter. And this goes back to 2008, and we have that. It's on file with the city, and you can find it in the council file. So in 2017, there had been constant problems with them complying with these things. They got their liquor license, but they were not following through with basics. So in 2017, it was up to us, to the neighborhood council, to reaffirm what we wanted, and there were conditions reaffirmed and also more detailed things put on it in 2017. That is in your packet. It's the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council letter 2017. So what's happened is that they are required by law, and it had been discussed in the comments, that they're supposed to have 30 days notice. It's supposed to be up at the front of the store. Unfortunately, it was not at the front of the store. It was over deep in a corner where nobody parks, right on the edge in the vegetation. And
it's actually behind Melanie's.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not in its standard door visibility location. It also, the letters did not get sent out within the 30 days and were delivered around May 1st. So that doesn't comply. So this letter is asking for a reset on that, so that the community, the neighbors can comment on that, and also a review of the CUB because of the concerns, the non-compliance of the items that have been reaffirmed twice. This is 2008, 2026. It's a long time. It's a long time to not comply. So this will be also going to Tim McOsker for the review.
We need.
Can you help me with the? I see the letter, but it seems to be another page to this. Can you tell me where that might be? Because in my packet, I see the motion on the next page. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on.
32, 33.
Where is it?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
I have a couple questions in regards to process.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. I got it.
It's Daniel Johnson. I just have a couple questions in regards to process. First, I don't think it was declared why Melanie recused herself. I mean,
she lives.
I got you. I could state the obvious, but I didn't hear it. Just, you know what I mean?
She did say she was 500 feet away.
Within her speech, right? Secondly, in regards to process, I think the material has already been presented from the she was supposed to recuse herself and not present anything, but there was a presentation. So I just question the legitimacy of this process in this moment for you all to even take it up to a vote. When you recuse yourself, you're supposed to state why you're recusing yourself, and that's it. And she presented the item, so to speak, in so many words. She did. Yes.
She was giving her public comment. I am presenting the item.
I want, again, process and clarity. As a board member, you're on the board for a reason. There's no way you could just stand up and go give public comment, right? I asked yourself if you've seen city council members do that on the floor, right? That's not a real thing. And it happened. In process, the process would be recusal and someone else presented the item. You presented the item after the item was presented, so to speak. However, this is your board. I just want to caution around how we present and recuse ourselves moving forward. If you all as a board agree that you didn't see anything wrong, find it wrong, I'll stand corrected. But I understand the process to be in which I described moments ago. I'm not trying to stop you all, just trying to make sure you don't develop a habit in the process. That's all I have to say, unless you have any questions in regards to it. That's all I have to say.
Daniel, we have to vote on this because the meeting's on the 20th.
Gotcha.
And that's all we want. I mean, they posted this thing not on the wall, not on the windows, nothing. It's off at the side. It's like this is the building. You come into this building, it should be there, not over by the basketball courts. Who's going to see it? So that's why we're doing, that's why.
Heard you, love.
Yeah.
John, he that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about process.
I know what he's talking about.
I understood him loud and I understood him loud and clear.
on this so we can go. This is cool.
Are there any is there any
Angela has her hand up.
I have a quick question. Can you just very briefly summarize the tie between all these things that Target has agreed to do and the liquor license, just so we... What is the relationship between the two things?
It's leverage.
So,
Yeah, basically.
so when they applied for the what specifically? So the ABC liquor license is a standard license for to sell liquor, and there are conditions that normally are put on there. And the police originally in 2008 gave the recommendations of what those conditions would be for this site to sell liquor. And you can see that on the 2028.
Okay. Thank you.
A lot of it was security, that they are responsible for maintaining free of litter. They're responsible for the parking lot of the premises. There's lighting of sufficient power to illuminate and discern the appearances and conduct of all persons. There was cameras. They're supposed to have a security person on the premises at all times out in the lot.
Okay, and that's tied to the liquor license?
That is tied to the liquor
Okay,
license.
That's all I needed to know.
In 2008, 2017, all of those items were listed again, that these are not things that they've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are in 2026, and it's just proof that we still have those problems.
Okay, Adrian.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel, for the clarification. I do say I agree with that process in that sense, but I have a concern looking at these pictures, right? If I'm looking at it, right, and I'm hearing it display on Target. Has any if there's, to be honest, if there's prostitution going on, if there's illegal, has somebody called 911?
Yes.
And has somebody called 911?
Prostitution's at a 911 call.
To report this activity? I mean, that's what I'm concerned. I mean, if this is a 50-50 venture, or we'll talk about the issue of the bed on the sidewalk. I mean, what has the city done with that too? I mean, those are my concerns, that it cannot, if we're following it just on Target, what is it that the neighbors are doing? What is it that the city is doing as well?
Sure. I have a response from that. So
you're speaking on behalf of the item on the agenda, right?
I am.
At this point, by your I guess.
I'm responding in regards to the responses and how the community
I just
has.
want to make sure that you're taking the role that Melanie might have taken in this particular item, right?
That's correct.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
That's correct.
Answer the question.
So the situation is that the Neighborhood Watch in the area has been very responsive and very communicative. There are actual emails back and forth with Target. There has been emails back and forth with Tim McOsker's office and Joe Buscaino and everyone before that. Our own neighborhood council brought, with Diana in Planning and Land Use had spearheaded the original communication with the complaints. It's been an ongoing thing with this community, this neighborhood council. The individuals on this board have worked with Target quite frequently, and there's been a lot of non-response in a lot of different ways. It's actually been very difficult, and the only reason the 2017 letter happened is because it was pretty egregious, and it continues to be egregious.
I saw Kane's hand, and then Christina.
Thank you, Gwen.
Oh,
Larry, yeah, I understand. Excuse me. I understand that they're contacting, but again, if I'm seeing illegal drugs, if I'm seeing prostitution, I'm going to call 911. I'm not going to call Tim McOsker's office. I'm going to call 911. Is there reports to LAPD, not to elected official office, saying that this happened, and has LAPD gone out there, kicked them out, done something to address that issue? That's what I'm concerned. It's not. Forget the elected official. I don't know about LAPD.
There is a protocol. So there has not been a security person on the premises, and they are required to call.
Let's stop there, because you have a specific question, and it has to do with reporting.
Yes,
Hang on a second.
911 has been called
Hang on a
in
second.
those situations.
And right now, it's just that what I'm getting here is that we're looking for a reset on the time element so that we can make the necessary inquiries and get better feedback, or make sure that Target hears our concerns. Because this is an issue that obviously has been brought up by someone who lives in the area, neighbors, neighborhood watches, and they're concerned about a whole host of different things. We need the opportunity to get that data. We need that opportunity to do all that. The posting, from what I'm reading and what I understand, and I would have to say I observed it myself, the posting of the liquor license, the clock seemed to have started very close to the end of the time that the So what we're asking for is more time to be able to answer those specific questions so that we can make a larger argument. We don't have a lot of time left here, so we have to be able to do something as quickly as possible. And that's what we're doing. If someone has called 911, we don't have that data, plain and simple, to answer your question. But there is enough community concern that we say, let's stop the clock. Let's have the opportunity to respond or to inquire into Target.
Mr. President?
Where I'm trying to, for a minute, that's what I'm trying to understand, because when I'm reading the letter, to me, I'm looking at it in two parts, where one half of it is the timeline, which I agree, yes, they should have complied. But then there's that other part we're getting into on what is happening at the property. And like Angela, I'm trying to understand. So there's two parts of this letter when I'm looking. It's not solely based on time. The letter is also talking about the current issues there. So that's why I'm trying to understand the connection to it.
And I understand your concern.
We combined it, okay? Melanie.
Wait, hang on. Chris had a question. I think Kane also, and
I'm just concerned that we're discussing the issue of the Target parking lot, but as opposed to the letter itself. Like, are we proposing changes to the letter? Because if not, then we should call the vote on it, because we're talking about the problem that the letter refers to, but that's not the agendized item. We're talking about getting the letter approved, not, which specific,
Yeah, the thing is to get the letter approved so we can halt them from having this meeting that's coming up.
Right, no, I understand that, but I'm just saying that we spend a lot of time talking about the issues that the letter brings up, but we're not talking about changing the letter, and if we're not, then we should move forward.
Okay, and we are way beyond our time limit here, so we really have to start thinking about what we're going to do. And so, Kane, I don't mean to put any kind of...
I know. My question is in all of this, where is the store manager? And does that person have any authority, or is it just corporate and a representative from San Francisco?
Well, that's a good question, but it would be post. I think in these types of letters, if I can, in these types of letters, advocacy letters, we have to start the ball rolling someplace. And every single person on this letter that's going to be copied, as I see, will help advocate for that particular piece of action. We have to start somewhere. So, no one's here. We had to almost beg these guys to come down and talk to us about this. And they finally show up last minute, but we still have time.
But this is all by design, and I think that's what's frustrating.
Designed by who?
It's not by us. It has to be by design. They know what they're doing.
Of course they do.
And this is it's frustrating us as community members, because there is so many issues long-standing from inception, from 2008, that have compiled. And so, as Chris said, and again, I know you understand the situation, but we keep getting jammed by Target.
So once again, this letter is asking for a reset of another 30 days so the community can give their input, and that the CUB be reviewed.
Okay.
Those are the two items that are being asked, and this is some of the evidence as to why. And it will go to Tim McOsker's office. They're the ones that will work with the review process, and they. Yeah.
Christina has a comment.
Yes, I just want to refer to, on the third paragraph, the last part says, please see attachment marked number 3.
Oh, yes. Okay, so.
Wait, let me ask my question, please. So these are recommendations. Is there any place where Target actually agreed to these recommendations? Do we have that information, or they signed this?
Yes, they did.
Should that not be attached to this so that we show that they agreed to it?
Well, it's my understanding that was conditional on them getting the license in the first place. So, that was part of the contract.
This 2017 letter was part of the reconditions of 2017.
Yeah.
And it is not much different than what is in 2008, but these were very specific conditions. And when they had it reapplied, these were conditions that they had to fulfill. Now, Tim McOsker's office is is aware of this, and it's on their radar.
Okay.
So here, this will be the last statement before we take that vote, because we got to get out of here. And I really apologize to everyone for overstaying our welcome here. But we have a really important letter that we want to convey, a very important thought coming from our community. And, we don't have all 80,000 people in the harbor area sitting here today, but we represent that community that is of interest. So we need to somehow get the ball rolling. So this is my question, and I don't know who I should convey it to, whether it's going to be you, Gwen, or Melanie, but once this thing is given to Tim's office and everyone else that should be getting a copy of this thing, who's going to do the follow-up? And the follow-up's got to be tomorrow. I'm going to tell you that
should this be voted and approved, it is going straight to Tim McOsker and Axel. Axel is the point person for this, and he actually is aware of this. And
so I'm hoping that someone is going to hand carry this thing right to them tomorrow, so that they know that we need advocacy right now, because our time is running out.
If it is approved, it will actually go tonight. And in fact, if you remember, Drew had said she's already aware of it. She's already they're already on it.
I heard that. So we got to do the formality of making sure that we have support in sending this from our neighborhood council, and that's what we need right now. And then I'll a comment to say after the vote is taken. So I think we got was this out of committee?
It was at a committee.
Yeah. Okay, so we got public comment. Any more comments? No? No. Good. My luck is on top. So let's go ahead and take a vote so that we can take it to that next step.
Okay, John Barbera?
Yes.
Ben Ruxford?
Yes.
Christina Calandra?
Yes.
Ray Christensen, aye. May Cordero Herrera? Adrian Fernandez? Cynthia Gagne?
Yes.
Gwen Henry?
Yes.
April Jones?
Yes.
Kaylee Miller?
Yes.
Kane Nicholas?
Yes.
Ray Regalado?
Yep.
Angela Sumner?
Yes.
Chris Valle?
Yes.
Okay, that's 13 ayes, 1 abstention, and 1 recused.
Okay.
So, hang on, tell Melanie she can come back.
Yeah, we need Melanie in.
Yo, Mel.
The college is right outside the door.
I like Christina's hustle.
This is so frustrating.
Okay, Melanie, the letter passed. We got to get it to him right away, and we need advocacy on top of this right away. But Gwen and anyone else can fill you in on what we need to do as next steps. The letter passed. We got to get it to Tim and make sure that we start getting the. Okay, that's great. But we need follow up right away. We can't. We don't have tomorrow to wait for follow up. So they need to help us.
Stop. Melanie, just stop.
Yeah,
Yes,
we don't need that.
We're there.
So with that said, we've run out of time. We really got to close this meeting. There's still stuff that we need to do, committee reports and things like that. We're going to have to kind of hold off on them. But we would have a request to say, make a final comment by one of our members. Vic?
One announcement, and I hoped I wouldn't have to say this, but when you have a meeting, post the agenda at LAPD Harbor Division. When you cancel a meeting, post the cancellation at LAPD Harbor Division. Please get this to your heads, because not everybody is doing what they're supposed to.
Thank you, sir. All right. Without objection, meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned. So I could hear Dan down there.